put that on me. Yeah, I got many dreams, I got plenty things that I wanna see. Will I put that on me? Yeah, I got many dreams, I got plenty things that I wanna see. Will I put that on me? Yeah, I put that on me. Yeah, I put that on me. Walk tall, see the car, do another smile, I'ma be the greatest. Good luck keeping up everything I can, you know what the name is. Plus I've been through the training, straight shot how I'm aiming. Never stop, try to put me in a box, boy, you can never frame this. I am what you might be, too fast and I'm too strong. I might juke y'all like I'm lightning, spook y'all like I'm frightening. They ain't never seen it like me, got my team right beside me. High tide, I'm rising, my time, that's timely. I got many dreams, I got plenty things that I wanna see. Will I put that on me? Yeah, I got many dreams, I got plenty things, yeah, that I wanna see. Will I put that on me? Yeah, I got many dreams, I got plenty things that I wanna see. Will I put that on me? Yeah, I got many dreams, I got plenty things that I wanna see. Will I put that on me? Yeah, I put that on me. 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 I got now, don't know who got next. Just like that, better every step. Yeah, I got now, don't know who got next. Just like that, better every step. I got now, don't know who got next. Just like that, better every step. Yeah, I got now, don't know who got next. Just like that, better every step. I got many dreams, I got plenty things that I wanna see. Will I put that on me? Yeah, I got many dreams, I got plenty things, yeah, that I wanna see. Will I put that on me? Yeah, I got many dreams, I got plenty things that I wanna see. Will I put that on me? Yeah, I got many dreams, I got plenty things that I wanna see. Will I put that on me? Scenario, win, yeah, we on a roll. Yeah, 2, 4, 6, we like 10 and 0. I should probably tell them something that they didn't know. Back then we was down with nowhere to go. Might have been down, but we didn't fold. Now we running it like some intervals. Ooh, what now? Tell me who you see when you look straight up. Like, wait, who? Us now. What you gon' do when we pull up on you? Like, ooh, touchdown. You already know what it is when I come through you. Ooh, shut down. Shut down. Say, oh, what now? Tell me who you see when you look straight up. Like, wait, who? Us now. What you gon' do when we pull up on you? Like, ooh, touchdown. You already know what it is when we come through you. Ooh, shut down. Ooh, shut down. Ooh, give me that crown. I need that now, right now. Ooh, don't make a sound. It's my time. You hear the crowd. We need that rain. Me and my team. Deja vu, this here a dream. We done all seen 100 times over back when we was just teens. Now we going dumb, told them we the one. They would count us out, now we counting up the funds. Now without a doubt, they be throwing other ones. Like they was always rapping, I believe them if you want. Now they show love, came with a dub. It is what it is, it isn't what it was. They all love to hate when it don't work out. Tell you that they always been down when it does. Look. Say, oh, what now? Tell me who you see when you look straight up. Like, wait, who? Us now. What you gon' do when we pull up on you? Like, ooh, touchdown. You already know what it is when we come through you. Ooh, shut down.
You can't refuse it. You know we strong, you know we bold, you know we ready for it. And any problem in this world, we gonna handle it. You coulda young, you coulda old, you know we built for this. We brave, you know we bold, you know we ready for it. And any trouble in this world, we gonna handle it. And when we come together, we dismantle it. And when we come official, put me stamp on it. And any problem in this world, we gonna trample it. Yo, this new generation, this is the new age. Heading to the future, coming out the cage. Get crazy, misbehave. Get crazy, misbehave. Get crazy, misbehave. Are you ready for the rave? Jump and misbehave. Hey yo, you're ready for the rave. Everybody, we coming out the cage. Party people, hey, hey, jump up, jump up, jump up, jump up. Hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up. Jump up, jump up, jump up, jump up. Hands up, hands up. Who wants them? Hold on. Hey, turn up. Hey, turn up. Hey, hands up. We jumping, yes, we jumping on the road. So much vibes up, yes, we ready to explode. We raving, don't you step into my lane. This feeling, yes, it's hard to explain. Flowing through my veins, flowing through my brain, driving me insane. Hey yo, get crazy, misbehave. Get crazy, misbehave. Get crazy, misbehave. Are you ready for the rave? Hey, 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 hey. Jump on, misbehave. You're ready for the rave. We coming out the cage. Jump up, jump up, jump up, jump up. Hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up. Jump up, jump up, jump up, jump up. Hands up, hands up. Are you ready for the rave? Get ready to misbehave. You're ready for the rave. Get ready to misbehave. What they want from me, 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 what they want from me. What they want from me. What they want from me.
When the lights go out, we start moving, running through it all like dope. We ain't losing, we ain't gonna fall back, now we going in. Ain't nobody stopping us, only option to win. So we take it all, never fall on gas. And we going hard, no flaws, all facts. If you wanna call it a bluff, let's dance. But you better trust that you stand no chance. We on that next level. We on that next level. We on that next level. No capping, ain't nobody quite as good when I'm rapping. When I hit the stage, the flames they start flying. Ironic, the king of the jungle, but not lying. Wouldn't be as good as me if I stopped trying. Better just pick a corner and start crying. I'll be the one they looked up to when I'm crashing down. I was born for the throne. I look good in that crown. When the lights go out, we start moving, running through it all like dope. We ain't losing, we ain't gonna fall back, now we going in. Ain't nobody stopping us, only option to win. So we take it all, never fall on gas. And we going hard, no flaws, all facts. If you wanna call it a bluff, let's dance. But you better trust that you stand no chance. We on that next level. We on that next level. I look good in that crown. We on that next level.
Welcome to the FIFA E-Club World Cup, where the top players from the world's best clubs battle it out to become one of 6 FIFA E-Club World Cup 2021 zone winners. To make it to the zone finals, the clubs went through a tough qualification process. Let's take a step back and look at how the clubs made it here. The FIFA E-Club online qualifiers were split into 6 zones. In each zone, the clubs were divided into different conferences, where they competed in up to 3 divisions. Based on their performances, clubs moved up or down in the divisions. The qualifiers ran over the course of 4 weeks, with multiple rounds. Every week, the competition got tougher as the bottom divisions dropped off. Clubs fought to secure their spot in the zone finals by means of a consistency ranking, or by being the best placed club in the final week of qualifiers. After an action-packed qualification round, the 42 best clubs from all over the world are competing in 6 zones. Let's have a look at how the zone finals are set up. Like the qualifiers, the zone finals are split into 6 different zones. Zones have been divided into different groups based on the number of participating clubs in each zone. Clubs have battled it out in a round-robin style competition, which means that every club has competed against one another. This setup continued to knockout stages and now culminates in a zone final with the 2 best clubs. By the end of the FIFA E-Club World Cup 2021, the 6 zone winners will be crowned.
Yeah, show me my opponent. Top spot, I want it. My grind, I'm on it. Can't stop, keep going. Wanna know me, can't call me. I remember feeling lonely. I remember when they told me I would never get the trophy. Show me my opponent. Top spot, I want it. My grind, I'm on it. Can't stop, keep going. Wanna know me, can't call me. I remember feeling hungry. Now I'm coming for the trophy. Cause this is my moment. I'm a boss till I fall, I'ma answer the call. I'm a beast, I'm a dog, and my back against the wall. I accept every challenge, had to battle for my balance. From a peasant to the palace, treat the trophy like a chalice. Stayed on my grind, great things take time. Now how I shine, you might go blind. Come along for the ride, cause I'm headed to the top with it. Going is my only option, they can never ever stop this. Show me my opponent, top spot, I want it. My grind, I'm on it. Can't stop, keep going. Wanna know me, can't call me. I remember feeling lonely. I remember when they told me I would never get the trophy. Show me my opponent. Top spot, I want it. My grind, I'm on it. Can't stop, keep going. Wanna know me, can't clone me. I remember feeling hungry. Now I'm coming for the trophy. Cause this is my moment. My moment. So many days, so many nights. I had to fall, I had to fight, I had to find the strength that's I keep hope alive. Through the dark, I found my light and now I shine. So many days, so many nights. I had to fall, I had to fight, I had to find the strength that's I keep hope alive. Through the dark, I found the light and now it's mine. Cause this is my moment. My moment. Cause this is my moment. Give me the money, give me the loot, give me the racks. Give me the hundreds, give me the skrilla, give me the stacks. Give me the bread, give me the cheese, give me the cash. Give me the feta, give me the cheese, give me the bag. Yeah, I want it, give me the bag. Yeah, I need it, give me the bag. I be on it, give me the bag. Yeah, I see it, give me the bag. Ain't no stopping, give me the bag. I'ma make it, give me the bag. If you got it, give me the bag. I'ma take it, give me the bag. Yeah, I want it, give me the bag. Yeah, I need it, give me the bag. I be on it, give me the bag. Yeah, I see it, give me the bag. Ain't no stopping, give me the bag. I'ma make it, give me the bag. If you got it, give me the bag. I'ma take it, give me the bag. Now give me that, come up off that, cause I want that. You can see that, I'ma need that. Show me where the cheese at, where you keep that. I ain't looking for no feedback. Just the G's, man. You should know that I'm a glutton for money, cash. Though if you got it, pass that over to me, cause if I want it fast. I'm slacking them dollars, you know what I'm about. Plus I be popping them collars. We in and we out. I got confessions and obsessions for getting the bag. Here's a lesson, just stay flexible when getting the stag. I want for 10, 20, 50, 100 and more, but you should already know because you said it before. Give me the money, give me the loot, give me the racks. Give me the hundreds, give me the skrilla, give me the stacks. Give me the bread, give me the cheese, give me the cash. Give me the feta, give me the cheese, give me the bag. Yeah, I want it, give me the bag. Yeah, I need it, give me the bag. I be on it, give me the bag. Yeah, I see it, give me the bag. Ain't no stopping, give me the bag. I'ma make it, give me the bag. If you got it, give me the bag. I'ma take it, give me the bag. Yeah, I want it, give me the bag. Yeah, I need it, give me the bag. I be on it, give me the bag. Yeah, I see it, give me the bag. Ain't no stopping, give me the bag. I'ma make it, give me the bag. If you got it, give me the bag. I'ma take it, give me the bag. I be in my dough up, that's like a cold cut. So much I'ma throw up, man, I gotta eat. Here go the watching the money flow. My pockets to see where the money go. Whole lot of dough, I'm getting cake. No candle needed, I'm very yo. I'ma get bread, hits and I'm dead. Gotta get it by the loaf. Bitch in my head, my favorite bread. Man, you always got my vote. Gotta get it coast to coast. In the era on the boat. Money, I promote. Seriously, it ain't a joke. Give me the money, give me the loot, give me the racks. Give me the hundreds, give me the skrilla, give me the stacks. Give me the bread, give me the G's, give me the cash. Give me the fat, give me the cheese, give me the bag. Yeah, I want it, give me the bag. Yeah, I need it, give me the bag. I be on it, give me the bag. Yeah, I see it, give me the bag. Ain't no stopping, give me the bag. I'ma make it, give me the bag. If you got it, give me the bag. I'ma take it, give me the bag. Yeah, I want it, give me the bag. Yeah, I need it, give me the bag. I be on it, give me the bag. Yeah, I see it, give me the bag. Ain't no stopping, give me the bag. I'ma make it, give me the bag. If you got it, give me the bag. I'ma take it, give me the bag.
And we taking our time. Yeah, it's all about the vibe. Okay.
We're taking it slow. We're just taking our time. And we're just living our lives. And we got nowhere to go. So let's stay here the whole night. 'Cause all we feel is good vibes. Yeah, all we feel is good vibes.
Vibe with it, it's a good time. We don't worry about the hate. We just pass it to the side, grab a drink, hold it up, say what's good, feeling right. All your friends, they invited, bring a bottle through the night. Tell them we gon' get it lit, we gon' get it lit. Get a little throw, get a little bent, have a good time. Ay, and you don't need a vent. On tilt, we gon' really get it in, right? Right. Ain't no time to be lazy, oh no. I got a dozen girls coming, they crazy for show. And not a single girl rating an 8 or below. I swear to God, they gon' love it the way that I flow. Hey, yeah, and we gon' take it slow. Spending time while you turn up at a vacant show. You can take your time, shawty, you don't need to go. We at a house party chillin' if you need to know.
We're taking it slow. We're just taking our time. And we're just living our lives. And we got nowhere to go. So let's stay here the whole night. 'Cause all we feel is good vibes. Yeah, all we feel is good vibes.
I've been vibing with you from the jump. See the crib, I ain't even got a stunt. Making hits, I don't ever try to blunt. When I pull up, everybody wanna front now. They acting brand new every time I touch down. And to my haters, all I gotta say is what now? Hey, say hello to the new whip, flirt with your new chick. All on TMZ, so the rights all exclusive. I'm playing with you, I know you playing too. We laying back in the cut, got the eagle view. I do this all the time, really ain't nothing new. I ain't frontin' on you, shorty, what I say is true. And now we chillin', we ain't worried about the biz though. Ay, stress-free, living like kids though. And if the vibe stay right like it is, when it's all said and done, we gon' end up more than friends.
We're taking it slow. We're just taking our time. And we're just living our lives. And we got nowhere to go. So let's stay here the whole night. 'Cause all we feel is good vibes. Yeah, all we feel is good vibes.
I got my own, I drive my own car, I got my own whip. You already know it. Hey, y'all make noise and y'all just focus. I gotta focus. I do not hang around women that golden. You keep it noted. I get the money and y'all getting no biz. I don't do poses. I keep it pushing, yeah, I keep it coasting. Whole team rolling. Shorty act up so you know that I'm ghosting. My season approaching. I got the juice, yeah, I got the potion. Let's get to toasting. Drinking my cup, yeah, let's get the poke. Hey, what's up? Pour another in my cup. Hop in a whip, pull up, yeah. All of my girls show love, they live in the hills, do drugs. Want more, now they can't get enough. Got my own thing, got my own thing. I don't do what everybody does, no. Hey, what's up, yeah. What's up, yeah. Hey, what's up, yeah. Stop playing. I gotta know what you saying. You telling me you a fan, while you DM me from Japan. You gotta love it. I do this music, put nothing above it. I had a shorty, but I had to cut it, cause I had no time to give her what she wanted. I gotta get to the bag like ASAP. I want a brand new Maybach. Whole lot of people done doubted me. Me stunting on them is a payback. I hate to say that, but I'm buying whips and I pay cash. You should see where I stay at, cause they think I'm selling that A-flat. Hey, what's up? Pour another in my cup. Pop in a whip, pull up, yeah. All of my girls show love, show love. They live in the hills, do drugs. Want more, now they can't get enough. Got my own thing, got my own thing. Now I don't do what everybody does, no. Hey, what's up, yeah.
What's up, yeah?
Hey, what's up, yeah.
What's up, yeah? Hey, what's up? Pouring nothing in my cup. Popping no get pulled up, yeah. All of my girls show love, show love. They live in the hills, do drugs. Want more, now they can't get enough. Got my own thing, got my own thing. Now I don't do what everybody does, no, no. Hey, what's up, yeah? Hey, what's up, yeah? Hey, what's up, yeah? Hey, what's up, yeah?
The 42 best clubs in the world, ready to write history and become legends of the badge. Ultimate glory is at stake, a chance to create a legacy at their fingertips, with dreams of achieving greatness, making their way to the biggest stage. But only 6 will be crowned this year's FIFA E-Club World Cup Zone winners.
For the game, I came here for the sport. Yeah, run it, we gon' stay 100. Run it, give it all or nothing.
Good morning.
Go.
Let's do it. Hello and welcome to the FIFA E-Club World Cup 2021 as we dive into Asia, our Zone 2 region. Today we are at the finals where Blue United will take on Wicked Gaming in the hopes to become Zone 2 champion. My name is Layla Annalee and I'm joined by Spencer Owen. How are you doing?
Great to be back, Layla. We had a great day yesterday, didn't we? We crowned 3 zone champions. We can do 3 again today, obviously with Asia here, Zone 2. Lots to look forward to. I want to take a step back a little bit before we dive into Zone 2 and talk about the competition as a whole, because 450 teams entered. The format has changed somewhat. It's been complex. Obviously, this year's been very different. I think it's fair to say that this is possibly the most hotly contested FIFA E-Club World Cup we've ever seen. Yeah, it gets that way every year. It gets tougher because there's more teams that want to take part. The eSport is growing, obviously, so more organisations get formed. Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely right. The qualification started late last year, 2020. Obviously, different regions, and that's been kind of forced on us through the pandemic. But I'm really happy that we've been able to adapt. We've been able to still put this tournament on and crown what we're calling zone champions. And it's given us an opportunity to kind of bring to light some more teams and players we didn't know about. So I think there's some positives to take for sure.
There's pressures are different as well, because we saw last year the teams were in the studio under the bright lights, and some players play well under that pressure, some players don't take it so well, but this time they're playing from home.
Yes, of course. So we're obviously in person here in England, but our players are playing remotely in the zones that they're from. I think the pressure's still there for me because this event is massive. You know, it's one of my favourite events in the FIFA calendar. It's the one that focuses on the club. So maybe you could argue a bit of pressure from your organisation if you're feeling it from the top. And I think that people want to win it, not just the prize money, not just the kudos, but like to say that you're a champion is a massive deal. Lots of people will be pro FIFA players for their whole careers and never win an actual trophy and actually get to a final. So if you've got the opportunity to do it, you've got to take it.
I like what you say about the pressures of wearing a badge, essentially, as well. And so here we are in Asia, Zone 2, Blue United versus Wicked Gaming. What can we expect today?
So Blue United, Japanese organisation, formed in 2018, which is, a couple of years now, which you're seeing, as I mentioned, more and more teams come through. Two players that we've seen a little bit of before, played previously in this competition. We've got Agum, we've got Sacked, and always there or thereabouts when it comes to this region. Going up against Wicked eSports, who are from Malaysia, formed a little bit earlier, back in 2015. I think on paper, and we'll talk more about this, but I think on paper, Blue would be the favourites here. But we already know from the other...
Paper's been useless to us up until now.
We're going paperless, people. The zone finals so far have not gone to the form book, so don't worry about that.
OK, well, someone else who's got some information for us. Each region has their own reporter. And right now, we'd like to speak to Mohammed, our Zone 2 reporter, who's calling in from Malaysia. Mohammed, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. All good. Hello, Layla. Hello, Spen. How are you guys?
Good, really good to see you. I would love to know more information from you because I know you followed all the teams throughout the qualifications. And really, I'd like you to tell us a little bit about Wicked and Blue United's journey so far.
Yeah, so very, very different, should I say, different journeys for both these teams. Like what Spencer has said just now, Blue United, a little bit more established in the FIFA scene, FIFA E-Club World Cup. This is their third major involvement in their main event this year, and they have been strolling through the qualifiers almost flawlessly as well.
I've lost Mohammed. I'm not sure if our audience have. I think we've all lost you. Mohammed, bear with us. We'll come back to you as soon as we can, as long as we can get the connection back, because I know he's got some interesting things to say. Firstly, he's already highlighting Blue United with a flawless journey here. Yeah,
and like I say, it makes a big difference if you've played in these events before. I know this is different because you're at home, but mentally, it should be the same. As someone that runs a team that didn't qualify, I can tell you how hard that qualification process was. So to get here is massive. And this year, we're seeing a lot of events that are starting a bit later than we're used to seeing, and that's because we're having to do them remotely. But normally, for example, we might have had 20 teams, say 30 teams, whatever, and it's maybe slightly easier to make the broadcast. This year, whether it's Club World Cup, whether it's regional qualifiers, just to make the broadcast is a massive achievement, because we may be only seeing the last, in this case, really the last 2 teams of this zone. Sometimes it's the last 6 guys. So just to be here is massive, but if they can obviously kick on and get a trophy, that's huge as well.
I like that you're saying just to be here is massive. It's massive for Mohammed as well. Are you back again, Mohammed? How are you? Perfect, yes. We can hear you again now. I want to pick up exactly where you left off. You were mentioning Blue United's flawless journey. Do continue from there, please.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that in Division 1, they started there, and they've never been outside of the top 4. They won Division 1 in week 1, and then they got second in Division 1 as well the next week, and then got top 4, where they lost to the Malaysians that have been progressing further into the group stages as well. But then again, in the zone finals group stages, they only lost 1 game, which is the game that... in which they have actually secured qualification already, regardless of them winning or losing. So I should say very, very good over here. They have been scoring a lot of goals over the games, and it's no surprise if they are to continue the dominance as well over Wicked eSports here in the finals.
And what about Wicked's journey? And tell us a little bit about them as a club.
One word to pull it, it's a fairy tale, I should say, because they're not even verified at the start of the season. They have to go all the way through the pre-qualifiers, going up against the likes of Dire Wolves Asia as well, and they won that. They went into Division 2, in which they got top 2 in there. And then in Division 1, they stayed there, and then on the final qualification week as well, they went all the way to the upper bracket finals, in which they won it as well. And then they lost that grand finals as well. But it's more than enough to be in the zone finals itself as the best 2 teams in there as well. So these 2 guys are actually very, very new here, Dato' Rentap, as well as Halowake. One of the guys, which is Halowake, I believe, he came back from Oceania region. He studied in Australia, came back to Malaysia, and then just carried Wicked eSports through. What a performance, especially that last-minute goal against CCV of Kashima Antlers to bring them here at the last kick of that zone finals group stage.
Amazing, Mohammed. Maybe we'll see some more late-minute drama today. That's a great recap of the teams. Tell us which players have stood out for you so far in the process.
Okay, so we got 4. Agu and Dato' Rentap on the PS4, sacked of Blue United, and Hellowick on the Xbox. And I believe the Xbox side is the most interesting part of it all, because Sacked has been scoring loads of goals, and he conceded, he's not prone to conceding goals. He's just massive throughout the qualification process. And in the zone finals as well, he scored 12 in 3 games, including a 5-1 win over Hellowick. But Hellowick, he clutches up in the big moments, especially in the big games. And just like I said, he scored in the last kick of the game as well. But not to not say that Agu as well as Dato' Rentap are not as huge, because Agu, his 1 point against GBX in that last minute to draw 4-4 as well is a huge one to secure qualification. And Dato' Rentap is a possession player, very, very fantastic as well. And he's one of the youngest players in Zone 2 as well. So very interesting to see how these 4 pan out. But I believe the Xbox players will be the clutch ones for both teams.
Sounds like there might be some big goals today as well. These 2 teams, they've met before. How do they compare as a head-to-head?
Head-to-head, it's more towards Blue United. They met twice. First up in the second week of the qualification, in which they needed a 3rd game to get the victory, in which Sacked won against Hellowick over there. And then in the zone finals group stages, they just strolled through, took a 6-point win over Wicked eSports. But there's one thing about Wicked eSports, right? They always win all these very, very important games. They look to be like up and down, but when it really mattered, they just strolled. They just clutched up and got all the points, and that's how they got here. Like a very, very fairy tale story, like typical of all the fairy tale stories. They just switched on when it really mattered.
Well, Mohammed, you've painted us a great picture here. We've got the dominant team, or one of the most dominant teams from the region, in blue. We've got the fairy tale story of Wicked. What I want to know is, who do you think's going to win?
This is going to be tough, right? Because I know Blue United very, very well in the scene. Like, we've seen Sacked in the Foot Champions Cup as well before. And then Agu is one of the best players in Asia as well. But I'm a Malaysian, so this is going to be tough, isn't it? Because we could, like... Yeah, because both of them are my friends. So, but I don't know. I'm expecting it to be a very, very tight game. Maybe perhaps some more last-minute drama. So from start to finish, everyone who's watching this, you cannot take your eyes off this game whatsoever. So I'm expecting to go maybe 4 games, 5 games. I don't think it will be a sweep 3-0 victory. No, it will be a big drama.
Mohammed, thank you so much. A really thorough review there.
Thanks,
Spence.
Bob.
I loved hearing what he's saying about Wicked Gaming rising to the challenge when it matters, because that, in a competition like this, is so important.
We've seen teams already, haven't we, in these finals that haven't necessarily convinced throughout the process as the standout team, but they get to the final. And once you're in a final, best of 5, anything can happen. As long as you time your prime, as I like to say, and hit the ground running at this point, all that other stuff goes away. It doesn't matter where you came in qualification, who scored against you, who won against you. If you're here, you're here. So that's the sort of motivation I'd be taking if I was Wicked.
We've seen them perform through the group stages. Let's take a look at some of their goals. Spencer, if you can walk us through.
Yes, obviously these guys met most recently in the group stage. This is the PlayStation game between Blue United and Wicked. It was a win for Blue United. A narrow game, though. And you can see the first goal actually does fall to Wicked eSports. Then Blue United get the equaliser. And this is the only other goal from this tie. It's a 2-1 win on the PlayStation. That's Agu versus Dato' Rentap. We then moved over to the Xbox, of course. Like I say, that game was a little bit more convincing. It was actually 2 wins for Blue United when they met. Again, sort of, further giving you that idea of them as favourites. Great through ball there, makes it Another goal there, 2-0 to Blue. And they keep coming with these goals. It actually ended up 5-1 this match. This is Halo Wake losing to Sact of Blue United. So, yeah, if you look at these games and these goals in isolation, you're going to struggle to see past the potential of a Blue victory here. However, as our friend Mohammed there just referenced, there is a little bit of a saving grace, which is when they did meet in the qualifying stages, whilst Blue did edge it again, there was a victory for Wicked against Blue. It was Dato Rentap against Agu winning 2-1. So he's proven he can win that game. If he can win that game a couple times in this best of 5, anything can happen.
Interesting that he's highlighting as well that the Xbox games are the ones to watch as well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you've got Halo Wake there on the Xbox for Wicked going up against Sact. You know, if we compare their stats, they're both the better scorers of their team. Sact scored 12 goals in the group stage compared to his partner Agu scoring 8. Halo Wake scored 7 compared to the 4 goals scored by Dato Rentap. You can see the league table here, though. I mean, look at the stats here. Again, it kind of further makes you believe Blue are the favourites. +9 goal difference compared to a -2 goal difference for Wicked. You're coming out of a group with a negative goal difference. It doesn't give you a lot of, belief. 10 points for them, 13 points for Blue United. So, no doubt, no one can deny Blue United have had a smoother, cleaner journey to the final. However, I've got to give Wicked some massive props because we talked about group stage, we talked about qualifying. What we haven't really touched on so far is pre-qualification. There was a pre-qualifying people that weren't necessarily seeded or had an existing reputation that they got straight into qualification. These guys have earned it from the very first point of pre-qualification. So it is a fairy tale story, but will it have a fairy tale ending? Yeah, well, we're going to find out soon because that game will be coming up later in the show. But first, we thought we'd meet the teams. Let's have a chat to Blue United.
チームの名前はその通り、ブルーユナイテッドという主に J リーグや、MLS のスポーツコンサルティングに携わる会社が母体のチームです。そして日本で初めて、FIFA を中心に立ち上げた e スポーツチームでもあります。
ブルーユナイテッド ESC は先ほども話したように、クラブワールドカップ、E クラブワールドカップには、3回出場している日本でもトップのチームです。
チームメイトのアグは少しお調子者ですが、すごく真面目でいい人です。またチームのムードメーカーでもあります。
自分の強みはやっぱりメンタルだと思っています。結構どんな状況でも、諦めない心を武器にして普段戦っています。
そうですね。もちろん優勝することはこれまで目標にしてきたことですし、その優勝を通してこのチームがいかに素晴らしいチームだっていうことを、知ってもらえるきっかけにしてもらいたいです。
去年はサマーカップシリーズアジアのチャンピオンになることができたので、今年もこのクラブと一緒に頑張っていけたらいいなと思っています。
Fancying themselves to go all the way right from the start. This is exactly where they wanted to be. And Spencer, something we've highlighted throughout all the shows has been that mental strength. And you hear him there saying, yeah, we have the mental strength. It does make a massive difference.
It's a vital part of playing FIFA. You know, these games often go into the last minute, often seeing last minute winners as well. You need to make sure you're tuned in and concentrating throughout. That comes from mental strength. And these guys, they've mentioned there, they've played 3 of these, or Blue have played 3 of these events previously. This is the first time that it's regionalised. So for them, whilst they've been consistently qualifying for the main event, they haven't yet kicked on in the global sense. This is an opportunity for them to reassert their dominance in their region, remind everyone they are the top team coming out of Asia. And if they don't do that, obviously, it's going to feel like there's a bit of room for other teams maybe to qualify in the future. So I think it's really important for them and to get another title. You know, they've got guys like Agu there who's mentioned, he's won a Summer Cup previously. Everyone loves a trophy and they should be adding to their cabinet here. Based on stats, they're the favourites.
Well, they'll be playing Wicked eSports. Let's meet the boys.
My name is Muhammad Naim bin Hisham. I'm 23 years old and I live in Malaysia.
I'm Faik Iskandar. I'm 23 years old this year. I live in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
I've been playing FIFA from my childhood with my brothers and family.
We are a group of friends, mostly. And we are somehow just pretty good at FIFA, I think.
He's a fast finger, but for me, I think he has no downside.
Playing as part of a team is really different than playing as an individual, because when you're playing with a team, we have a sort of camaraderie with everyone, you know, everyone supports each other.
When I have a goal, so I say, let's go! Yeah! Yeah, it's more like that.
I will definitely get support from family and friends. They were supporting me from the start, especially my friends.
I can't believe that my team have qualified to the final, and I'm looking forward to it. Hoping that we will win this tournament as another dog team.
Winning this tournament would honestly be life-changing because we're not only playing for Wicked as a team, we're playing for our country, and it will also, winning this tournament will also change the perspectives of Malaysians for the FIFA eSports industry.
We hear them talking there about the importance of winning this. Spence, how do you translate a trophy like this, a title like this for a club? How important can that be?
It's absolutely massive. Like, for me, again, as someone in charge of a club, this is the one I probably want to win the most. Apart from the E-World Cup at an individual level for the player, but for the organisation, this is the one that focuses on the organisation. It is, you know, based on obviously the traditional Club World Cup in football. This is the E-Club World Cup, and it's one that you want to win because your club gets celebrated in the best way. And for me, we don't necessarily do that enough in FIFA eSports because it is an individual, normally 1v1 sport. It becomes a lot about the player, which is good. The players have to be celebrated, of course. But the clubs really are the ones driving this scene forward. The clubs are the ones putting players on wages. The clubs are the ones signing people from all over the world, giving them a career.
Yeah.
And that's why I love this tournament, because it really celebrates that. And looking at someone like Wicked eSports, yeah, they were actually founded a couple of years before Blue, 2015, obviously from Malaysia as opposed to Japan. But it is Blue United that have really cemented their reputation. This is a chance for Wicked to start catching them up in a big way and showing that it's not all about Blue United when it comes to, you know, the big Asian FIFA eSports teams.
You're very much, naturally, a team player. Tell me a little bit about the bond between the two and how important it is that they get on.
It's massively important because, like, especially in series like this, if you have a bad game, you lose your first match, you don't want to feel like your teammate's going to be, you know, annoyed with you and it's going to be an issue going forward. You want to have encouragement and him to be motivating you to go and win that next game, and also to feel like your partner's actually good enough to help you when you do lose. Your partner's going to get the win. When he gets a loss, you're going to pick things up again. If you consecutively can cover for your teammate like that, you're not going to go far wrong. You know, and obviously the best teams are going to find that sweet spot where they're winning both their games, but it doesn't always happen.
I guess that camaraderie can also affect the training and help in the prep for an event like this.
Yeah, this is an event that really encourages players to help their teammate get better at the game. You know, we do see a lot of that, and good teams, in my opinion, are encouraging that mentality throughout the year regardless. But often, even with players in the same team, there is an element of competition. Because, you know, you're looking over your shoulder. He's ranked a bit higher than me, or he's qualified for that event, I haven't qualified for this event, am I going to get a contract next year, etc., etc. In this event, you want your partner and your teammate to be as good as possible because him doing well helps you.
Yeah.
So it's fostering that teamwork, which maybe we don't see enough of in FIFA.
Well, it is time now to head over to our casters as we begin Zone 2 finals. It's Blue United versus Wicked Gaming. It's Mark Hatcher and Dan Gaskin on comms.
Thank you very much, Layla, and welcome along, everybody. The first final of what is going to be an amazing day of FIFA action. We're kicking things off with Zone 2, Dan. We've got Blue United going up against Wicked eSports, and this is a wonderful tale of two regions who have been developing in the FIFA scene over the last few years.
They have, and they're not short off the mark. They could compete against some of the best teams and best players in the world, and whilst they're not quite up there yet with the standards that we've seen in the likes of Europe, North America, South America, the progress they're making, there is no reason why they couldn't be up there with these next coming years. And this event is perfect for them because now they've got the regional event, they've got the chance to shine at the top of the top here. And this is going to be a really interesting matchup. I mean, we heard the Zone reporter saying it's kind of like one big team against a team who is on the up and coming. They have shown progress. They have shown that maybe they can actually compete against this other side. And I'll run the stats through later and how they've gone up against one another. But I think this should be a final for Blue United. However, starting on PlayStation, I do think that will benefit Wicked more.
We'll have to see how obviously that first game pans out. And if there's anything that we do know is that previous form kind of goes out the window a little bit when we get to the finals. We've already seen that in the previous day's action, and it could well be the case here. We've heard a little bit from our Malaysian team as well, Wicked eSports. They seem very focused, incredibly happy to be on this stage that they find themselves right now. And it's not just them, of course, who are feeling very happy about it. They've got some messages of support from their fans, their friends and family as well. So we'll take a quick look at that coming in for Wicked eSports.
Good luck to my boy Haloic and Wicked eSports. Hope you send them back home.
Good luck to my brother Haloic in the finals. I'll be cheering you on from the next room. You guys got this.
Naeem, your name says everything. Be the best. Good luck, my son, on top. All the best, you can do it.
Good luck on top, you can do this. Be the world champion and make us proud.
Good luck, Rentap. Be #1, steal the title.
All the best, Rentap. We are supporting all the way from Malaysia. Gambate.
Good luck, Rentap. All the best. You can do it. Make us proud. Yeah.
Well, Dan, if that doesn't get you motivated, I mean, I don't know what does. To see so many messages of support coming in from friends, family, people in the next room, people outside, it doesn't matter where they are, everybody is supporting Wicked Esports in their journey.
I wish I had that same support. Maybe Spencer next door, he can be supporting me in my commentary as well. But no, it's good to see, and all 4 competitors, I feel like, really want this, and that's great as well, because we have seen in the past some players like, just a little bit miserable, a little bit down, but it's all smiles, it's all happiness here, and all the fans enjoying it as well. And just going back and looking at how they've competed against one another throughout the qualification process, throughout the group stage, they've actually played each other quite a lot. And the reason why I said I think it's quite important that it's starting on PlayStation is on Xbox, Sact has absolutely dominated Halo Wake. He's won every single time, 3-1, 4-1, and then 5-1. Whereas on the other side, Agu versus Data Rentap, it's been a 50-50. It was 2-1 both ways, and each player has won 1 game. So I feel like, actually, PlayStation can go either side. Xbox seems to be more dominant, but the fact there's only 2 Xbox games and potentially 3 PlayStation games, it's hard to call.
And the Xbox, you just got to do a job. If your teammate gets that win, then, you can play defensively, look to see out a game, maybe take it to penalties and get that win any way that you can. But as you can see now, the 2 players are on your screen. It looks like we are ready to go. And we can see the team lineup as well here, Dan. Zidane, Hullet, Vieira in that midfield. Possibly 3 players in the middle of the park.
Yes, Pele at centre-back, one of my favourites as well. But of course, just switching him to CDM, getting that chemistry as high as possible. And I'm sure we'll see Patrick Vieira drop back into that centre-back position. An incredibly strong team, of course. Everyone looks at that and they'd love to give it a go. These players are, I'm sure, very lucky, actually, to be playing on these esports accounts and playing with the best players that are possible in this game. We're just about ready to get started then for this Zone 2 final. I can't wait.
Here we go then. It's time to kick off the day's action from the FIFA E-Club World Cup. Usually we say it's Championship Sunday, but it's been a Championship weekend. And now we have another opportunity to crown a champion here of Zone 2. As Blue United go forward, and already seeing a couple of cricketer cancels, and that's always something that shows that the mechanics are working early on. An opportunity here actually for Wicked, straight off the bat, the fake shot, the finish, it's a dream start here for Wicked Esports. And a torrent tap, that is massive.
An amazing start for them. And Wicked Esports, this is the dream scenario. And look at that reaction as well. Got to keep yourself calm, but boy, do you want to celebrate it. It's one way to just kind of stamp your way into this grand final. And it has been the PlayStation that's been the dominant side for Wicked. When you look at the qualification process, you look at the group stages, whenever it has gone to that extra game on PlayStation, that's when they found success.
A massive, massive opener. So you look at the form book, and this is the game that maybe one of these players can get something out of this for Wicked Esports. However, now for Blue United, the pressure is on, and that's a cheeky, cheeky finish from Zinedine Zidane, and I'm loving the reactions I'm seeing in the bottom corner as well. Now it's 2.
Cheeky indeed, and the fist bump to celebrate. Agu in tatters at the back at the moment, just can't quite switch on. Hasn't been able to track these 1-2s whatsoever. And we're starting to see goals flying in. That's the 58th goal we've seen from Data Rentap throughout this tournament, ever since the qualification process started. He's played 25 games so far. This is his 26th. A great record indeed.
A dream start here for the Malaysian team. And a real way to announce yourself in this Zone 2 final. 2 goals to the good inside the first 10 minutes or so. Now Blue United and Agu need to answer back. Looks for that cricketer. Manages to find it and almost finds that through ball as well. But on the counter-attack, maybe an opportunity, but one back almost immediately here. Cristiano Ronaldo. Will spin inside. Vieira will step in though.
Step in and then instantly look for that counter-attack as well when we ran the highlights. It was the through balls that got the goals.
Cristiano Ronaldo with a chance here to potentially make it 3, and Virgil van Dijk has to be perfect in that tackle. And luckily there for Blue United he was.
One touch too many, I think. Got in his own head a little bit. Real chance to make it 3. Hope he doesn't look back at that and see that as a chance he really should have put away. If Agu starts to get back into the game, it's one of those that will haunt you a little bit.
All around the outside of Alphonso Davies. Ronaldo whips this one into the box. A little bit unorthodox in the way that he delivered it. But almost found a man, and now on the counter-attack, that through ball is going to find Ronaldo 1v1 with the goalkeeper. It's 2-1. Devastating counter-attack.
And this is what I mean. Is it going to come back to bite him? After missing that opportunity with Cristiano Ronaldo through on goal, allowing Van Dijk to step across. But what a finish that is from Agu as well. It's calm. We've seen opportunities like that missed before. But R9, when you're through on goal one-on-one, a simple ball roll does the job. And that's going to be really good for Agu's nerves as well. Like the early 2 goals, I'm sure he would have been a little bit frustrated, hadn't quite switched on. He's now back into this game.
Mbappe manages to bundle his way forward. The bridge didn't look too effective, but a combination of different limbs managed to keep possession of the ball for Wicked eSports. Now, how do you respond to that? The pressure back on to their shoulders potentially. The offside call does come in from the referee, and now a chance for Blue United to step forward once more. Agu goes out wide here to Mbappe, gets that ball back inside as well. R9 Ronaldo into Patrick Vieira. Vieira versus Vieira. The ball's going to break free though to Mbappe. He doesn't seem to make contact.
Both players more than happy just to be streaming up the pitch as well, and attack, attack, attack. We're not seeing one player trying to dominate the possession and pass the ball around.
Beautiful Croqueta cancels coming in here. Cruyff on that left foot, it's 2-2. And the dream start for Wicked eSports now feels like a distant memory. Blue United are back in this.
Considering both times that they faced up previously, it was 2-1 and 2-1, but we've already seen 4 goals in the early stages of this tie. Makes me think that they've got even better at attacking since they last faced one another. Perhaps just worked out a little bit more of the meta and how to break through the defence. The highlights from the goals, as I said, it was through balls, it was directional nutmegs.
And it might be a chance to make it 3 as well. It's just an interception at the last second. And now on the counter-attack, this is end-to-end stuff. Talk about a cup-tie feel. Well, this has got it. Mbappe now inside the box. Little Frankie de Jong turn. Schmeichel makes the save initially, but can't get back. And it's 3-2 now to Wicked eSports as Cristiano Ronaldo runs to the camera.
And I felt like he deserved the goal after the turn as well. He made enough space. I've seen that go in. Even actually when Spencer was looking at the highlights earlier, it was almost an identical goal that was scored. I thought it was just going to be pinged bottom right. But rewarded with a little bit of a rebound, a little bit of fortune. But Wicked will be more than happy to take that one, and Agu has to reset yet again after coming back from 2 goals down. But I don't think that this is going to be a game that is going to slow down at any point.
Well, it's early in the morning here in England at the moment. This has certainly woken me up. 5 goals inside the first 37 minutes. A great watch for FIFA fans all around the world. Perfect thing to go alongside your morning coffee, as I'm seeing Wicked eSports try and step forward once more, and Blue United now go forward. Cricket cancel here from Hullet. Almost found a little bit of space to get a shot away once more, but straight up the other end, Dan. Here come Wicked eSports again.
Yeah, you'd think that Nasser would just want to hold on to the ball a little bit and deplete the time here, get to that 45th minute, have the last attack of the game. He has been constantly looking for a quick, heavy-weighted pass up the pitch, get to those strikers, look for the 1-2. This is a little bit better, just calming it down now before half-time.
There's space in the middle for R9. You can see that run. Pele with a reverse elastico, like the idea there. Patrick Vieira done well to track that. And now with 30 seconds left, and stoppage time before the referee will blow his whistle, there might be a chance here for Blue United to find an equaliser. R9 goes out wide. Good interception from Davis. And that should be the end of what was an action-packed half full of goals.
Full of goals indeed, and I knew that they were both capable of it. Just when you look back at how many goals they have scored throughout qualification, I mean, Wicked played a lot more games because they had an extra qualification phase to actually get here, and I'm just surprised that it was that fast-paced.
It was
if
crazy.
I'm completely honest. Like, we look at the goals in the early start, it was a simple turn, really, to beat the man for the initial, and the 1-2, these are probably defensive errors as well as just moments of beauty attacking.
You've got to take those chances early on. That's one thing that I have to commend Data Rentap for. The fact that, nerves will be playing a part in this final. Whatever final it is, you always feel a little bit shaky early on. But to take those 2 early chances is absolutely massive for him. But then to see, Agu coming back into it, he said himself he feels like he's a very mentally strong player. And that was a perfect example of it.
It was. It's very difficult when you are 2 goals down, although I suppose it does help when it is 2 very early goals, because you can look at the clock and you say, all right, I've got a lot of time to get back into it. I don't need to rush. However, it didn't really seem to matter. Both players were more than happy to just run at one another. It's constant 1-2s. They want to get up the pitch as fast as possible and utilise the likes of R9, the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo. And it's about just getting that through ball, bringing those defenders out of position and slicing them open.
The second half underway. 5 goals in the first one. Question is, are we going to see that many in the second? Possession was with Blue United from the start of this second half, but it's going to be turned over pretty early on here. No real chance created. As Wicked eSports now go forward. It just seems like, at the moment, Data Rentap has so many players flowing forward in those wide positions through the middle of the pitch. When he does get possession, it looks like he has a lot of options. It's quite difficult for Agu to actually pick who he wants to track the run of, as we see that ball in behind now. Davis is having to track back, but Ronaldo's got the wrong side. Drops Davis to the floor. Can he take advantage of this? Goes down in the box. Data Rentap can't believe what he's seen. And the referee's seen nothing, but now we need to switch on once more. It's actually going to be a free kick going against Wicked eSports.
And I could watch the player cam all day, I'm going to be completely honest. Like,
passion, isn't it?
Living every single moment. A nice attempt of a over-the-top through ball, but another day I've seen penalties like that given.
I've seen penalties given for players running alongside each other in the last couple of days, let alone contact like that. But referees make the choice, not me.
You can see there Agu his stats throughout the group stages. He was undefeated in the group stages, but in the qualification process he had a couple of big losses. His biggest loss was actually a 4-0 loss to Web Nasri. That's a name I remember.
Nasri introduced himself back on FIFA 18 in the playoffs in Amsterdam. As we take a look at his opponent as well, some of his stats coming in here. But to be honest with you, that's up till now. I feel the final is a very different place. As I say, statistics do play some sort of a part, but sometimes it's about who has the bottle in these big games. And at the moment, it's Wicked eSports. It's Data Rentap who's looking like he's got the steel to potentially see this game through. And to be honest with you, I like how he's slowing this down a little bit of a change of pace from what we saw in that first half, as a chance to strike from distance there, and it was green timed as well, Dan.
He did go for the time, just trying to finesse it. We see R9, we see Mbappe score those sometimes when there's just a little bit of extra space. Has slowed it down, but does still need to be careful here.
Mbappe up against Vieira, goes for that ball roll scoop turn combination to try and fool him into biting at the first skill move, but you give credit once again to the defending. And now Alphonso Davies has to scarper back, but Schmeichel will scarper himself to the edge of his 18-yard box and collect the ball.
A very different pace in this second half, as you mentioned, and I think that, whether that's just speaking to teammates and realising the position you're in now, you have that goal lead.
Ball. Sorry to cut you off, but that ball was cut through the defence, and a beautiful extra pass. And Blue United are back into it, but what a pass that was. The vision to find Mbappe was absolutely superb.
I was going to say, it's all well and good slowing the game down, but if that isn't your natural game, you have to be careful, because when you are just passing it around, those players are going to make a couple more runs. You are going to be left vulnerable a little bit. I did see a little bit of a round of applause from Dato Rentap. Was that sportsmanship or was that sarcasm?
Yeah, it was sportsmanship. It was a phenomenal goal. The extra pass as well. And just looking at the formation actually being used by Blue United here. I saw the 4-3-3. A good counter as well to the 5-back, should that be an option. Those wingers taking care of those, kind of finding the space in between the attacking wing-backs and 2 of the 3 centre-backs. So it's a very attacking formation you're seeing here. And not surprising to see it as well. You've got to remember that Blue United were 2 down in this game. And the change of formation's actually been very successful.
But now, it's going to be all about how Wicked eSports reply to that one. Because it was a rebound goal initially that gave Dato Rentap the lead. It was a little bit fortunate, but he had created space. But since then, he's just been trying to play these through balls to Cristiano Ronaldo on the right-hand side. And he has been able to worm his way into the box a couple of times, but I think Agu is starting to get a sense of that and has been tracking it a little bit better.
Well, here is Cristiano Ronaldo. Zinedine Zidane already on the score sheet in this game with the cheekiest of dinks over the goalkeeper in the one-on-one situation. Ball into the feet of Ronaldo, scoop turn from him. Player switching, not being as effective as it could in that position. The bridge almost gave Dato Rentap the opportunity to strike a goal, but the defender just got back in time. The goal kick is sent long towards the head of Cristiano Ronaldo, and it's always a surprise, to be honest, to see him not win those headers, as the ball is now given away in such a dangerous place. A lack of concentration here allows Blue United to come forward. Ronaldo, pull it. Almost finds the ball back into Kylian Mbappe there, Ronaldinho, and now the counter-attack onto the other end.
Those are the moments that are really scary when you don't expect to give the ball away. It's just a little mistake. Agu not able to capitalise on it quick enough. You want to be, as soon as you're winning that ball, you want to be playing a pass or making that move towards the goal ASAP. Because your opponent is going to be player switching frantically, panicking a little bit. Dato Rentap, he stayed calm. He's got possession now. We're into the last 10 minutes of the game, so a goal here for either side you feel would probably win this one.
Great squeeze from Agu there defensively as well, but big tackles coming in all over the pitch at the moment. Possession will fall to Wicked eSports here from the throw-in on the near side. And this will be one of the last opportunities to go forward, like you were just mentioning. Ronaldo out wide here. Scoop turn inside. You can see the player switching coming in from Agu as well, trying to track all these runs. Fight into the feet of Mbappe now. Ronaldinho got 1v1 his man out wide. What's he got in the back pocket? He's got a directional nutmeg. He's got a ball roll, but he doesn't have the finish to match it. But almost a moment of magic at the end of the game to separate the two teams. Here's Ronaldinho again, heel to heel. Little fake shot as well. Davis gives it back to the Brazilian, and Dan, he's looked like a difference maker on this left-hand side.
It looks like he really wants to just try and fire home something now. Give Wicked eSports the lead going into this site.
Mbappe goes for that fake shot. Is there going to be enough time for a counter-attack to come in? There isn't. Nothing to separate the two teams then. After 90 minutes, and as has been the pattern, a lot of the zone finals we've seen so far in the FIFA E-Club World Cup, we go to extra time.
62% possession for Wicked eSports, though. After the very frantic back and forth first half that we saw, it was very much slowed and calmed down by Dato Rentap, but came back to bite him a little bit. Fullbacks were out of position. They were pushing up the pitch because he was passing it around. He was looking to try and make those runs. And then it was just a through ball all the way over to the left-hand side. But we can look back at all of the goals. The initial fake shot from R9, and then it was a lead double thanks to a 1-2 and a lovely finish from Zidane.
Just thought for a second that maybe the defender had enough pace to get back and stop that, but there was no stopping that shot there from R9. The ball roll to set up the finesse around the goalkeeper in the 1v1 situation. Just a simple touch onto the left foot, the 5-star weak foot, of course, of Johan Cruyff to tie things up. But that was the goal with a little bit of fortune to it, Dan. But that pass there, for me, one of the standout moments of the game.
It's a great pass. The fullback just caught out of position, and then the ability to have so much calm in front of goal and play the extra pass to guarantee it. As we kick off extra time then, I did think that PlayStation was where this was really going to be tight between these two teams. It hasn't disappointed.
Big tackle from Patrick Vieira. One of those long legs went all the way round Ronaldinho to find its way towards the ball. Davis will make the interception here for Blue United, though. Just wondered if the Munich man was going to bomb on there and commit forward, but here is Ronaldinho, who has been causing all sorts of problems since his introduction to the pitch. Now Dini wouldn't accept that one. See how high Blue United's defence is, though. Ball through. Is the linesman's flag going to go up? Yes, it is. It did look like he was offside, and in fact, confirmed by the linesman.
3 times we've seen Blue United in the E-Club World Cup. I'm sure they would like to be regional champions here in the 2021 iteration of it.
What a ball that is. Is R9 going to beat the goalkeeper to it? Peter Schmeichel makes himself absolutely huge in between the sticks, though, as it comes out to make a vital save, a vital stage in this game. And now up the other end, Ronaldinho, the Elastico, almost finds himself a little bit of space. Great ball inside here. Cristiano Ronaldo, directional nutmeg, but can't get the shot away. End-to-end stuff still here, Dan.
Yeah, both players look good in the box and good on the ball as well. Like, Elastico's being pulled out, the directional nutmegs at the right time. It has been touch and go with whether they'll actually be able to get the shot away. I mean, we could have seen 4 or 5 goals for both sides in a different scenario.
Here's Pele. Cristiano Ronaldo goes through on goal, gets the left foot shot, but you can see the frustration there from Agu from Blue United as well. Nui had more time than maybe you realise. He kind of snatched at that opportunity, but that was a golden chance there, Dan.
I think it was one of those where you have expected to shift it slightly closer to goal. Corner comes in, headed away.
Clear it away. And that'll be half-time in extra time. 3-3, the score between the two clubs.
How you fancy penalties today?
I knew it today. I just had a feeling. I woke up this morning, made my coffee. I thought today is going to be filled with penalties, Dan.
Funny enough, because every other day has also been filled with penalties. This competition,
I like to go
every region has been so close. And I think that's the beauty of having these zones. When we have the international competition, sometimes you will see certain regions dominate. But this is how tight it is within each individual region. There's just so many fantastic competitors that can take it on any given day, if the day is their day. But is it going to be that wonder story for Wicked Esports? We have seen some underdogs win throughout this competition. 15 minutes left of this first leg. Reminder, it is a best of 5. We'll see whether either of these teams can do anything in extra time. Otherwise, we go into penalties.
Well, unfortunately, you can see on your screen, connection been lost between the two players, so we'll get back into the game as soon as we possibly can. Apologies for the delay, especially at such a tension-filled moment in the game. But we'll take a look at the goals in the meantime, just to remind you how we actually got to the point that we find ourselves. This was the first one. That fake shot, though, that shows confidence to me early on. Sometimes you get your first opportunity in a big game and you kind of just hit it and hope that you're going to test the goalkeeper, but good composure.
I guess the good thing about it being disconnected there in that specific point is it's right on bang half-time of extra time. It's going to be very easy to set it up. The only thing that I am going to talk about is, of course, when you do have disconnects like this, you have to choose where the stamina is going to be. And that is going to be a big thing in those last 15 minutes. Some of these players who may have had stamina depleted might have a little bit more or a little bit less, depending on what's decided by the players. And I always find that fascinating when we do have restarts. So we'll see how that impacts things. But those were some good goals. I'm very happy with what I've seen from this region. When we started this show, I was saying, well, in previous titles, this region has sometimes been a little bit behind Europe and North America and South America sometimes. But in terms of like the meta that I'm seeing and the goals that I'm witnessing, it's the same thing that we're seeing in the other regions. It's not like they're drastically far behind, and it just gets me kind of like excited. I just want to see the regions face each other's regions. We're just going to wait a little bit longer.
Think as well, like what's this region going to be like in 2 years' time,
exactly.
3 years' time? Because we've already seen all the regions develop. The more exposure these players get to the higher levels of FIFA eSports as well. Like you say, Blue United's their third time here at the FIFA E-Club World Cup. They've been exposed to those high-level games, some of the best in the world, and every single time you go through one of those experiences, you take stuff away from it. You know how to play against these players. You know things that you want to take away, and you know what kind of dedication it takes to get back to the, or should I say, to achieve the level that you need to call yourself a champion. Just a quick update, of course, on the series as it stands. We'll get back into Agu versus Data Rentap as soon as possible. But the best of 5 format has certainly thrown up some surprises and some excitement so far in the FIFA E-Club World Cup. And next up, of course, it'll be the turn of the Xbox players, where you feel there's a more clear favourite.
I do indeed. When you look at Agu in Sacked on Blue United, Agu has played less games than Sacked. When it has gone to that decider and they've had the Xbox being the dominant one, Sacked has absolutely slapped everyone around. He's been fantastic on that Xbox side. He's taken Halo Wake down, for example, the player that he's going to be playing against in this series, 3-1, 4-1, and 5-1. Every time they've played, he's upped it by a goal. So is today going to be 6-1 and then 7-1? But it won't matter if he wins his 2 games, if we see on the other side Agu then lose all of his games as well. Agu has not really had that responsibility of being the one who plays 2 times in a best of 3 or 3 times now in a best of 5. It's usually been Sacked that they rely on. On the other side, though, Data Rentap has been that player that they rely on in a best of 3 or best of 5. He's played far more many games. He's played 25 games compared to Halo Wake's 21. So he has had those extra chances to kind of get the games, get the reps under the belt. And I've been very impressed with what he's offered so far.
I'm just wondering if the players are enjoying the fact that there's a little break here before the potential penalty shootout, if they're going to be thinking about where they're going, or if it's one of those where it's like, I'd rather just play off instinct. If we get to a penalty shootout, now they're overthinking about where the first penalty is going to go, what kind of, they're going to go for a cheeky Panenka down the middle, where they're going to go and try and save it, they're going to step across. All these things start to creep into your mind that maybe you wouldn't have been thinking about had you just been thrown into the situation yourself. Would you like a little few minutes before a penalty shootout just to compose yourself?
No. I'm going to tell an embarrassing story. I played in a charity game once.
Is it about me?
And no, it's not. I've got a lot of embarrassing stories. I played in a charity game once, and I had been subbed off. The team then conceded a penalty, and they brought me off the sub bench back onto the pitch to take the penalty, and I missed it because I had far too much time to think about it, and I had to walk all the way off the bench. Obviously, it was a charity game, didn't really matter, but still, if you have too much time to overthink, then it starts to get a little bit tricky. I think a lot of people would rather just kind of get it underway, and that's why we see a lot of professionals in FIFA, when it comes to penalties, just take it instantly. They don't really take a pause. They don't have a drink of water. They're just like, right, I'm just going to start smashing these out. I'm not going to allow my opponent to overthink what I'm doing, and I don't want to overthink what I'm doing as well.
I missed a penalty in my last game of football I ever played as well.
Did you?
Won it, and then decided that I was going to take it because the penalty taker said, I take all the penalties, and the penalty taker went, no, I'm taking it. It's my last game I'm going to play probably. I tried to dink it down the middle, and the keeper didn't move.
And that's your legacy, the last game.
That's how people remember me taking penalties. And I'll be honest with you, if you play me in Weekend League, I'll probably try and do the same because I'm that kind of guy, A bit of style to my play.
I have seen you and heard you miss a lot of penalties in FIFA.
And you live thousands of miles away
from
me, right?
So it's very loud.
Let's talk about the rest of this game, though, because there's still a bit of time left here. And, depending on who has possession from the restart as well, that's something we need to take into account because possession, obviously, you need to have in order to formulate your attack. And it might be a case of one of these players having the chance to attack in this last 15 minutes, or one of them just trying to hold on potentially for that penalty shootout.
Yeah, I can't quite remember who had the kickoff, but I would presume whoever had the kickoff will have kickoff again, and they'll make sure they set it up with the way that you can restart games with FIFA nowadays and the eSports accounts that we have. It does mean it's very fair. I mean, if we go way back to the early days of FIFA, in a situation like this, we would actually have to sit and wait for the players to start a new game, and then we'd have to get to the 115th minute again. And we'd be chatting for a very long time, which, whilst I would enjoy, because I do enjoy conversation with you, we are in a good situation nowadays where we don't have to do things like that. There's a lot of tools in place, and it has been very impressive.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting back into this. This is, of course, the first game of a best-of-5 as well. And it started with a bang, which is something that we always love to see as well. 2 goals inside the first 10 minutes. And this is where we stand right now. If you're just joining us, of course, welcome along. And a huge hello and a huge welcome to all Blue United fans and Wicked eSports fans from Japan, Malaysia, wherever you might be. This is where we stand, as I say, 3-3 at the moment. Sak's going to be going up against Halo Wake in the next game as well. And then we see the return leg. And we talk about a kind of a FIFA hangover, right, from results where you play a previous opponent and you don't get the result that you've wanted. Agu versus Data Rentap here. Depending on how this goes, especially if it's penalties, we've seen penalties really shift the momentum ahead of the next game as well.
They do, and I know you say statistics, the form, we can kind of throw the form book out when we get to grand finals, but throughout qualification, especially Blue United, when they did take a loss early on, and it goes to that best of 3, the player who lost did seem to kind of turn it around and then actually beat their opponent. So it does seem like they're quite good at learning what their opponent has to offer, how they're going to be attacking, where they can break through those defenses, and then capitalizing on it when they get the rematch. But when it comes to a situation when it's a 3-3 and then it potentially going to a penalty shootout and you lose the penalty shootout, I feel like that's very different to losing just a straight game of FIFA.
100%.
Because if you lose 3-1, you say, all right, well, I lost 3-1, this is where I made the mistakes. If you lose because of a penalty shootout, you're saying, well, I don't feel like I lost.
It's a what if, isn't it?
It's a 50-50 that I took in a penalty shootout, as players are back in the game now. So good news. And I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes, because the first, 30 minutes of the game, it was just action-packed. It slowed down a little bit in the second half, but now that it is pretty much next goal wins, I wonder whether we're going to see both of them just chomping at each other again.
Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's for the game to get back underway. We're going to be joining this game the second half of extra time, so only a few moments to go, really, until we do go to the spot to decide who's going to take this first tie. It looks to me like both players are just making those final adjustments before we do get back into the action. Apologies for the delay, of course, as you have to remember we're playing remotely here. And everyone's done a fantastic job to bring you all of the action from around the world as well.
So I am noticing that all players on full stamina. So that is going to be a bit of a difference from what we saw before the restart. The players would, of course, had that stamina depleted, which means it's going to be more difficult to break down those defences. Those defenders are going to be keeping up with the attackers. Therefore, it might just be a situation where both teams kind of just hit each other in the midfield, and we do end up going to a penalty shootout. Although it could be said, some of the attackers probably had their stamina depleted as well. Maybe now they're going to be a little bit more full of life.
Effervescent.
Yeah.
It's a good word, isn't it?
I don't know what it means, but I'm glad you said it, and you looked at me with your eyebrows raised.
Surprised myself. We can see final adjustments being made here by Blue United. That's the point of view that we are seeing right now. We've got Cristiano Ronaldo up top, Ronaldinho out on the left, Kylian Mbappe on the right, Pele in that cam spot. Plenty of pace, as you would expect. Plenty of technical ability, and of course the ability to finish a chance should it come along. Well, it will be Blue United here, who have possession from the restart, so they will have the chance to have the attack that could potentially win this game. For Wicked eSports, it's a case of just trying to hold on in this position, win that ball back, and maybe think about attack yourself. And you saw a little bit of desperation in that tackle, Dan. It had to be made.
It's always dangerous having a slide like that, but Patrick Vieira, of course, statistically great at getting down to the ground.
Player lock being used here to find the feet of Kylian Mbappe. Ball's going to fall fairly fortunately here to Eusebio. Scoop turn from the Portuguese icon. Here's Kylian Mbappe, a little bridge around the corner. And a risky pass. Are they going to get away with it here, Blue United?
Well, out of the woods just yet. Still a couple of white shirts around them, but Maldini turning in his own box and now they have escaped danger and start to create some of their own with Cristiano Ronaldo.
So running behind, but Alphonso Davies will cut that out, and Ronaldo having given possession away with that loose pass, manages to get back into a defensive position to get that interception away. Now Wicked eSports, who were 2 up right at the start of this game, maybe can find the opportunity to score right at the death. Another directional nutmeg, and that one just looked a little bit more hopeful than well planned in its execution.
It seemed just a force of habit, really. Hold on.
What a ball that is, though. Cristiano Ronaldo in behind, can't get away from Maldini. And what a recovery tackle that was.
That's the strength of Maldini as well. That's what the prime Maldini can do. We've seen a few mistakes from him throughout the tournament. Can just shrug off a player.
Straight up the other end into stoppage time, 120 minutes on the clock. Is there going to be a last gasp winner here in this first leg? Given away, though. And we go to the spot once more.
Well, just like all weekend long. And look at that, straight into the penalty, straight down the middle for Bruno Fernandes. There's now Ronaldinho with the chance to equalise against Schmeichel. Down the middle, but saved.
Advantage to Blue United then. Pele steps up and it's going to be saved. An opportunity here to tie things up for Wicked eSports. Eusebio versus Schmeichel, and it's all tied up.
How are your nerves? Ronaldinho again, but this time for Blue, and it is saved again by Wicked eSports. The chance for him to go ahead. Oh, what a penalty. Smashed bottom right.
Wicked eSports once again with the advantage then. Mbappe steps up, another save coming in from Wicked eSports. And now the chance to win it all. Hullet steps up. What a save, though. What a save in that moment.
Has to score here. Blue United, Ronaldo does. The chance again for Wicked eSports.
Zidane versus Schmeichel. Oh, it's a save that comes in. And is that the opportunity squandered? Hullet now puts it away. Pressure back on to Wicked eSports.
Suddenly it's a must-score situation. Missed 2, has to score this one, which he does. And sudden death very much here now.
Davies steps up, and Davies will miss. Another chance here for Wicked eSports. If Vieira puts this away, they will have the advantage, but another save from Blue United.
He wanted to go the other way. Maldini, that's saved as well.
Nobody wants to win this thing. Can Davies finally win this for Wicked eSports? He goes down the middle, and Wicked eSports pick up the win. But my, both players coming up with huge saves in the penalty shootout, but you can see how much it means to Rentap here.
Well, this creates an incredible grand final here in Zone 2. If this had gone in favour of Blue United's Agu, I might have been writing off Wicked here and now. But it is advantage to Wicked eSports. It's a penalty shootout, and there were many chances to win that penalty shootout, and I'm not surprised there's a reaction like that, because when you've got 2 penalties to win it and you throw it away, you start to think, okay, maybe it's not my day.
Yeah, 2 incredible saves as well. You saw the full stretch of Peter Schmeichel, almost went one way and then reached back with that hand to make the save. But after it's all done, oh my word, headphone users, rest in peace. But that is what it means to win a game in a final. But that's only part 1 of the job, Dan. A long way to go here.
A long way to go, but as I say, I feel like if Agu had won that game, Sakt would have just been rubbing his hands together and saying, okay, well, if I win my 2 Xbox games, then this tournament is ours, and this zone is ours. We will be the champions. Now, not so simple. Sakt has to win both his games, and he needs to see Agu actually win one of his. So the pressure is very much going to be on Agu, but for now, we turn our attention to Xbox for this leg 2, and, well, that's where the Halo Wake can take a little bit of, well, a little bit of magic from what we just saw in that game.
Inspiration is what he's got to take. I mean, that result has completely made this final unpredictable once more. You know, the pressure that Saks might have not have been feeling, knowing that previous results, he's been very comfortable, like you were saying, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, I believe, in the last 3 encounters these 2 players have had. All of a sudden, he's thinking, if I lose this game, and having just seen my teammate fall in the way that he has, we could lose this thing. You know, being the huge favourites, all of a sudden, doesn't look like they are the huge favourites from one single performance and one clutch moment coming in from Deterentap. So really does make this an interesting game and a super high pressure game in the context of this final.
Oh, I feel like Sack's going to be looking at this saying, okay, well, I've beaten this guy 3-1, 4-1, 5-1. It's advantage me. I know how he plays. I know how to beat him. But for Halo Wake, he's going to be saying, well, what have I got to lose here? I'm expected to lose. I have lost the last 3. Maybe I'll try something different. Maybe I'll go for a formation that he's not seen before. And you have to remember as well, from the very start of the qualification, the meta has slightly shifted. There have been things that have been removed, that have been nerfed. Like the bridge, for example, got a big nerf. The directional nutmeg took its place. Cancelled shots took a big hit as well. Those are maybe some of the things that Sact might have used to beat Halo Wake throughout that qualification period that he can no longer use. So all these different things that do come into the equation. But ultimately, I think you're right. Forget the form book. Forget the stats. We're just going to get 2 players who are very good at the game going head-to-head, and it's about who can take those early chances, who can be clinical in front of goal.
We'll see the 2 teams, we'll see one of the teams, excuse me, on our screen for just a second because we're underway here. And for Blue United, this is a must-win game. And early on, looking for an instant attack and an instant impact was Cristiano Ronaldo. And it seems like whenever we have Blue United versus Wicked Esports, there's a massive chance right at the start of the game.
Just early pressure, really. Trying to assert dominance like he has done in the previous encounters between these 2 players. But we are seeing Halo Wake just hold on a little bit. Having to play himself out of trouble at the back, but doing well to switch the play to Mbappe.
You can see this game just being slowed down ever so slightly here. After what was a blistering first attack of the game, we almost had a goal within the first few seconds. An interception there from Patrick Vieira, just coming back on his defensive duties that we know he's in every single player's team for. When you do see him there, you see the statistics as well from the group stage, Dan, coming in from Blue United. Sact.
Yeah, Sact had a great group stage. He did lose 1 game, but it was only 2-1. It wasn't against Wicked Esports.
Cristiano Ronaldo inside the box once more. Saw that cricketer being cancelled. And there's the ball inside as well. Maybe a chance to strike here. Great strength, though. In a dangerous position being shown by the defender. A long ball now upfield just to try and clear the lines, but constant pressure here coming in from Blue United, Dan.
You can also see Halo Wake and how he did in the group stage. Throughout the entire qualification process, 47 goals scored, 37 against in 21 games, including those of the group stage.
Great ball. Mbappe's in, and Mbappe will score. And you have to say, it's felt like it's been coming here. It's been all one-way traffic between our Xbox players. And Sact takes the lead here for Blue United.
And what's interesting is Sact has 1 extra goal across the whole tournament, and he's played 5 less games than Halo Wake. So that does show that he has the ability to bang them in when he needs to. That's his 49th of the competition, so closing in on 50. And that's not the start you want if you're watching on as Deterentap after getting that penalty victory for Wicked Esports.
And the more concerning thing maybe for Halo Wake is the pattern of the game so far. It really has been completely controlled by Sact. I'm just wondering, is it a formation change that might need to be made a little bit earlier than maybe you would have wanted? You're just seeing every time that United get hold of the ball here, players are flowing forward, they're finding little bits of space. And it's been one-way traffic, as I said previously, so far.
And every time Halo 8 gets the ball, he's just firing it up to the strikers and going for the old 1-2 through ball. And I think that he can't really play that game. Or if he wants to play that game, it's going to be a very risky one, because he is going to be playing little possession until he gets the fortune where one of those through balls finally come through. I want to see him try and use the width a little bit more. The over-the-top through ball is not going to work out. it's a nice attempt, but again, it's just giving away possession and allowing Zach to control the game. I've seen several times where Mbappe has had so much space out on the right and he's not opted to go that way.
Almost half an hour gone then, in-game. Still just the one goal separating the two players, which is the one good thing to take away from this for Wicked Esports. Only need one chance to get back into things.
Not quite the 4 goals that we saw in 30 minutes in the previous encounter. Again, it's still Sacked. Just pushing up, not being scared to lunge in with the likes of Patrick Vieira and Virgil van Dijk. Winning that ball back and then just saying, all right, well, I'm going to dictate the pace of this game. Keep up.
1v1 opportunity again versus the defender. Touch that was from Bruno Fernandes to pick that one out of the air, but it will be called back. So now a little bit of possession for Wicked Esports and for Halo Wake. Hasn't seen much of the ball so far, had to do a lot of defending. With around 10 minutes till half time. Like I mentioned, only takes one chance and almost found the ball through to Alphonso Davies, who was pushing on from fullback here, and a good tackle in midfield from Vieira. He's going to give him another chance to go forward now. Here's Bruno Fernandes.
Just need to see something a little bit more unpredictable, I think, from Halo Wake. The 1-2s are there, but they're so obvious that they're being tracked comfortably by Sacked. I'm glad he's using a little bit more width, but there we go. There's something.
There's the bridge, and here's Alphonso Davies. Gets inside the 18-yard box, tries a little double tap pass inside. Sit back on that left foot now. Nice little skill cancel to try and get the defender to bite, but unfortunately it's going to ricochet back off of Davies and out for a goal kick here.
Somewhat disappointing, I think. There, Halo Wake will probably be a bit annoyed. He's generated so much space with Davies on that left-hand side, but didn't really do much with it afterwards. Maybe needs to be utilising that RB button, bring one of the strikers a little bit closer to him, just so the pass will be on.
A little bit of fortune as the ball ricochets here to Kylian Mbappe. You can see trying to find that run of Pele through the middle. Now a chance on the counter-attack. You see Davies is always an outlet here on this left-hand side for Wicked Esports, and unfortunately won't get to cross the halfway line in any kind of anger, as the referee will bring the half to a close. 1-0 to Blue United, Dan. And a lot of control for Blue United, but not too many chances really created, to be honest with you. Even though a lot of possession in around the 18-yard box, not a lot of shots at goal.
Surprising, considering there were 6 goals between these two players last time they faced up against each other, and it was 5 going in favour of Sacked. That opening goal, I wonder whether it just kind of caught Halo Wake off guard a little bit. Just a little through ball that got behind and nipped behind the defence. But you're right, there has been a lot of possession. There haven't been too many chances. It feels like both players, really, once they get to the edge of the box, they kind of go, well, what now? They don't seem to have that extra option. There isn't as many skill moves as we saw in the PlayStation type. We were seeing croquetas, we were seeing elasticos, everything was coming out. And there is small glimpses of skill moves, but I don't feel like either of these players are as comfortable on the ball as their teammates.
We'll have to see if that little bit of magic can be found by one of the players in those 1v1 situations to get that half a yard to get the strike away. You can see how things are panning out in our final, though, for Zone 2 on your screens. Back into the action, though, and back into the second half, where Blue United do control things at the moment with that 1-goal advantage. But it will be Wicked Esports will have the ball from the kickoff here, so maybe a chance to create something right at the start of this second half.
You can see all the players just kind of sitting there at the moment. No runs being made off the ball. Seems like in the tactics set to just possession mode, so players are offering the pass short. So it means you're going to have to trigger runs yourself, and there is a run.
What a ball it is as well to find Kylian Mbappe. There's the player lock to try and find Cristiano Ronaldo, who rises highest. A good challenge, a good pressure from the defenders. I mean, that wasn't a clear header, but that's a clear mistake. R9 now. There's the skill move we were asking for, and that's what can happen. 1-1 now, but a gift delivered to the doorstep there of Wicked Esports.
A fantastic gift, but just unwrapping it very gently. I've seen people just hit them straight away with R9 when you get the ball there. But he took his time, he waited, he watched where that goalkeeper was going, he saw the defender oncoming. And just a little bit of magic that we were just so desperately hoping for finally comes out and should bring this game to life now. Wicked eSports equalising.
Well, well, well. One thing we can confirm is that our finals are unpredictable. The form book goes out the window. And all of a sudden, the belief which must be flowing through the veins of both players here on Wicked eSports could propel them to an unlikely championship here in Zone 2. United coming forward though, looking to answer back. Big tackle once more. Ronaldo's going to get a little bit of fortune go his way. Van Dijk gets back in to make the tackle.
That was one of those really scary ones, wasn't it, where it's kind of bobbling around, and if Van Dijk hadn't have got hold of it, could have been a lead again for Blue United. Halo Wake. Now what can he do? Doesn't have to worry about that early goal, doesn't have to be panicking too much when going forward, so he can bide his time, but he's opted to try and go up and above again. It hasn't really worked out thus far, so I'd like to see him go a little bit more direct along the floor.
There's a run, an overlapping run from Alexander-Arnold. You could see there were two men in the middle as well, and if there wasn't a touch on that from the centre-back, that was a guaranteed clear-cut opportunity for Blue United, but the defender did get a touch on it. And therefore, Wicked eSports will survive. And once again, a raking crossfield ball finds Kylian Mbappe. Ruud Gullit on the edge of the box as well. A double tap inside! And somehow, Ruud Gullit left that. It looked like he was in the prime position to arrive and put the finishing touch on the move.
I mean, I think he's tried to go to Gullit there, but it's just not gone where he wanted it to. It's unfortunate, but finally those big switches across the field have actually worked out.
Pele now inside the box. The game really starting to open up. Fernandes back inside. Cristiano Ronaldo gets the ball round the corner, but can't get the shot past the defender. But it will be a corner here. Chances at both ends.
And you can see the five at the back there. Meaning that's why we're seeing so many balls that are just kind of raking from right to left, utilising Mbappe on that right-hand side, who works as a wing-back, but of course is there mainly just to go forward. And then you've got Fernandes and Gullit, who can both go from box to box, and Gullit could have had a goal if that ball had just landed in the right place. I liked the attempt. We are seeing a little bit more creativity from Halo Wake after a rather stiff first half. So it'll open up a little bit more.
Substitutions coming in. Will be cleared, and Adama Traore, who's one of the strongest players on the game, has just been dropped by Kylian Mbappe, who's not just got away from one, but he's got away from two on the counter-attack here. A big opportunity to go forward for Wicked eSports in the last 20 minutes here. Mbappe just waits for the opportunity, gets a second bite of the cherry, gets it into R9, who goes down in the box, but it won't be given. Goal kick, the only result.
Suddenly this is getting a little bit scary for Sacked. 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, but only 15 minutes left in this game, and it's still 1-1. It has not been the dominant performance that he and the rest of us would have been expecting. And the longer this goes on, I'm sure, the more nervous he'll be.
Maybe a chance here, Ronaldo looks to play that ball back inside, but maybe just you could see overthinking things a little bit. There's that player lock once more, and on the counter-attack, all of a sudden, Halo Wake is starting to look more and more dangerous.
He is looking dangerous, but he doesn't want to get too carried away and suddenly then get caught out on a counter-attack of his own because he's making a risky pass or a ball that could come to hurt him, just like that one, for example. Great interception.
Unbelievable player switch. Just strode into that passing lane and just picked the pocket to win back possession. Tries that fake shot to and burst through the defender. It's the last 10 minutes then. And you expect this game to slow down a little bit as both players really want to make sure they have the last attack.
That's an important challenge as well. Allows Davies just to track back after he had been pushed up. Difficult to separate the two players at the moment. The way it's looking, could be another extra time.
The United step forward. Mbappe, you see the run outside of him as well, decides not to use it. Instead goes back inside to Ruud Gullit here. Great ball in to Kylian Mbappe. Goalkeeper's out of position. Gullit's all over the place, but luckily in the right place.
Look like he's had one too many there, but thankfully no one punished for it. But as I say that is a huge mistake, just trying to switch that play to the left-hand side. We'll give possession again to Blue United, but now Wicked and Halo 8, perhaps one last chance to steal this game at the death.
Wicked eSports then, like you say, will have potentially the final attack of this game. Based on previous results, Halo 8's had a very, very good game here to keep it at 1-1. However, to steal it away at the death, to give your team a 2-goal advantage in the final would be massive, and maybe you've just got to hit it. A massive opportunity there right at the death, but not taken. And we go back into extra time once more.
I think you do hit it there, because either Ronaldo just buries it, or the keeper perhaps palms it to the R9 that you've actually opted to square it to. But it has been an incredible performance from Halo 8, especially if you do look at the form book. Like, he has been dominated by Sacked every time they've gone up against one another. I think
that's got to be the reaction.
I think Halo 8 knew that was there for him. Could have had the win, could have been 2-0 up in this grand final, and passing the reins back over to his teammate, back over to Zato Renta, who's already got one victory. Was a penalty shootout. And well, in 30 minutes of extra time, we might be going to another penalty shootout.
So changes being made. You see Theo Hernandez brought on that left-hand side, and at fullback, plenty of pace, of course, on the Frenchman. You also saw the introduction of Zinedine Zidane, the 96 rated prime icon. And if a chance falls to him, you know it will be buried as well with that 5-star weak foot. But underway we are again. Extra time between Blue United and Wicked eSports for the second time in 2 games. Hernandez on for Fernandez.
You want to try and get the ball onto the edge of the box here and see if you can start turning around some of these defenders.
Ronaldinho can't get around Vieira though.
Tries to do exactly that, but Vieira has done a fantastic job at CDM, at centre-back, sorry. Moving from his original CDM spot.
Tackle once more. See, both players just look, I feel, a little bit nervous in attack. They don't want to take too many risks on the edge of the 18-yard box, because they know that both their opponents have the ability to counter-attack quickly. And the last thing you want to be doing in this position, Dan, is over-committing and giving your opponent the chance to win the game outright. Maybe Blue United are going to be that team now. Here's Ronaldinho, gets the ball out of his feet, tries to play it back inside. Keeps possession, though, for the time being. Ball in now to Kylian Mbappe, the scoop turn! Sells him beautifully. And in extra time, Blue United take the lead.
Well, I don't want to say it's vintage Sacked, because I've only seen a handful of his games, but that scoop turn seems to be one of his favourite ways to finish. And there was no way the keeper was getting that after Team of the Year Mbappe strikes it hard into the bottom right-hand corner. Advantage back in favour of Sacked and Blue United. How will Halo 8 respond now? It took him a while to get an equaliser in normal time. Doesn't quite have the same time to work with here in extra time.
He's going to have to break down the defence as well. It'll be a very difficult proposition in the way that he's been playing so far, looking for those counter-attacks and a big tackle. He's going to give Sacked and Blue United possession. Mbappe gets away with that one. The referee's going to let that one go, and 1v1 in the middle here. Player lock going to be used once more. Van Dijk trying to get back and does a fantastic job to do so.
I feel like the player lock kind of hurt him a little bit there. Just R9 slowing down with that run and allowed the defender to catch up. Goalkeeper hoofs it upfield, and it's going to be half-time of extra time. So only 15 minutes left now for Halo Wake to try and get an equaliser. But I think regardless of what happens in these last 15 minutes, I think he can be very proud with how he has been able to take this to extra time against a player who has dominated him previously. But I guess when you come this close and you do take it to extra time, you almost just... It's not a great feeling, is it? You can't really pat yourself on the back and say, oh, well, I didn't lose as much.
Yeah, you'd rather lose you'd rather get stopped than have one of those games which is so close and could go either way. But you can see the change in formation as well. Pele on the pitch here for Wicked Esports. Maybe he can be the difference maker right at the death. But only 15 minutes to go in this game to find a goal to send us to another penalty shootout. It'll be 2 in 2 games in our Zone 2 final if we do get to that stage. But at the moment, Blue United's still in control.
Has to do something special, I feel, from this attack. See if he can catch sacked off guard a little bit from the kickoff. He's just shifting the play, though, from right to left, seeing if he can create an opening. But there is a lot of defenders back in the moment.
He's playing the 3-5-2 as well, which is a good counter to the 5-back. You have those wide players bombing on, taking care of those wing-backs. You have a central cam as well, who can take care of one of the centre-backs when he gets forward. But that's all good in theory. The issue is, you've got to have the ball first. And a tackle like that from Blue United is going to mean that possession is very much in the hands of Sachs, but a good decision to step up there. He's going to win the offside call from the referee.
Maybe 1 or 2 more chances for Halo Wake here.
Well, they've got him behind. There's men in the middle. Does he take the shot? He goes across goal. Oh. Pele, the save from Peter Schmeichel. One of the best I've seen.
But it's still unorthodox ways of trying to get the ball in the back of the net, the little dinks over the top.
And out the other end, Ruud Gullit is striding forward, looking to put the exclamation mark on this performance for Blue United. And Mbappe can't create. And is that going to be an opportunity to maybe see this game out for Blue United? They're going to regret it a little bit here. Oh, giving away once more, though.
Can't be giving it away there, but at least there's going to be a second chance, or is there? Carlos Alberto just gets to it, but unfortunately goes out again. It's going to be a throw-in in favour of Sachs, who I'm sure now is just going to try and use these defenders, play the ball around and eat away at that clock and tie this final up at 1-1 in this best of 5.
Past the allotted time, then an extra time, and Sachs has done a job so far. Although Halo Wake has run him all the way to the last moments in this game. The referee will blow the whistle. And our final is now tied up at 1-1. As Sachs gets the job done against Halo Wake.
And that's what we expected, but it wasn't as emphatic a victory as maybe it should have been, considering what happened in previous meetings between the two. But it smiles on the face of Halo Wake. He knows how close he came. And he's going to say, well, I'm going to get another opportunity here. Whatever happens, if my teammate, even if he wins or loses, I'm going to get to play him again. Maybe he's learned something a little bit different. Maybe he feels like there is a different way that he can get past and try and get a victory. And then pressure shift now all the way back over to PlayStation, and for the incredible penalty victory that it was for Deta Rentap, that game's kind of null and void. We go back into it, essentially a new best of 3.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? You know, all the emotions, all of the great feelings, all of the wonderful moments that were in that game, and we'll take a look at some of those goals and talking about wonderful moments from the game we've just seen. They kind of go to the back of the mind now. They have to, because, like you say, the result is great, but essentially we're now in a shootout between the players. It's 0-0. The scores are reset in the series. It is, of course, 1-1, but that goal there was absolutely beautiful. That little skill move to shift the ball onto the right foot is probably one of the standout moments. Apart from the save at the end, I have to say.
Apart from that save, which, yeah, Schmeichel has been a standout performer for a lot of teams throughout this tournament. But that was the kind of head and hands moment right at the end of regular time, there was an option for Cristiano Ronaldo to shoot, and that could have been victory for Wicked eSports. One thing I was going to say to you, though, is both players there for Blue United in the same room, and we have seen a few teams that have had that benefit of having an office or having a house that they live in, a team house and whatnot. Do you think that's a big advantage, having like your teammate there?
I always think that two brains are better than one when it comes to certain situations in the game, whether it's tactically, they see something that you don't. It's always good to get an opinion. The difficulty is balancing whether you listen to that opinion or if you stick to what you think is the right thing to do in the game, right? But I think it's an advantage. I think that they're there to pick you up when you might not have the result that you want, but they're also there to keep you level-headed if you do have a big performance. And I think that could be the difference in some of these big games. But we'll have to see, wait and see how this turns out as we move back over to the PlayStation now. And I think this is going to be the game which decides, to be honest, how this series go. I think that Sact looked good in that last game. I think Halo was holding on a little bit in certain situations. I feel like Sact maybe didn't quite have the creativity around the 18-yard box, which I expect from him, that we've seen previously, and maybe that'll click in the next game. I expect that to click. But here, this is massive. This is Agu versus Zeta Rentap. Obviously, the penalty shootout was what gave Wicked the win last time these two players met up, but it was a back-and-forth game. It was a crazy game, and I just feel that the looser the game is, the more it plays into the hands of Wicked eSports.
Yeah, I feel like the Wicked eSports, both players know how to play FIFA, and they know how to attack. However, I feel like there are those mistakes that do crop up defensively when they're under a little bit of pressure or the ball starts to get pinged down around a little bit too fast. And there is more experience on the side of Blue United. They have been in these positions before, these pressure situations. So it's about how this Wicked eSports team starts to handle the pressure as it starts to mount up a little bit. For Data Rinsap, the first game, the pressure wasn't quite there. He was probably thinking, all right, well, yeah, it's going to be a tough game. Maybe I can get a victory and maybe I won't. I have played Agu before and beaten him once. But now that everything's been reset and he doesn't have that advantage yet again, it's whether he looks at this and says, okay, well, if I do lose, then suddenly I'm putting so much pressure on my teammate Halo Wake to try and get a victory against Sact, who he has never found a victory against.
No, interesting thing for me, just caught that out the corner of my eye on the tactics screen, from Blue United, and coming in from Agu, playing the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, but also playing a very high depth here, looking to really pressurize his opponent. Speaking of pressure, the connection between the two players couldn't handle it, unfortunately, but you could see how the players were getting set up there. But, I mean, the narrow, a formation that obviously is very aggressive. It gives you a lot of options going forward, maybe gives you, a little bit of vulnerability at the back sometimes, especially if you have those fullbacks bombing on. It's one of the formations that a lot of the pros will use to get back into games with those fullbacks bombing on. But interesting to see that being combined with the high depth as well. It looks like he really wants to take the game to his opponent.
There's also a thing about playing at high depth. I think anything over 7 depth, your team will almost offside traps for you. You'll see a lot of players who will be hammering that offside trap, and they'll be ensuring that they can bring those players up as soon as they get rid of the ball out of their box. If you're playing on 7 depth, they naturally step up. So if you are someone who struggles with playing the offside trap yourself and you feel like you leave yourself a little bit vulnerable, the game does it for you. As soon as you put it on 7 depth, they will push the out of box, they will put that pressure on, and it can help. And we have seen players actually go for that, not just in this region, but in the European region, in the North American region as well.
Oh, well, we're going to have to see how these tactics do work out for these players. I think it's a very interesting thing to see. I think he's just trying to take the game to him, to be honest with you. And to be honest with you, I want to see the reaction on what we've just seen tactically and from the first 2 games from Spencer and Layla. So for now, we're going to take a little bit of a moment to catch our breath and send it back over to you.
Yes, thank you, Mark. Yesterday, we saw sort of a low goal scored, a stagnant football game based on the tension and the tightness between the skill of the two teams. Today, the same reason, the tightness between the skill of the two teams, is giving us a flurry of goals, extra time and penalties.
Yeah, I've got to give it to particularly the PS4 game we saw first, which we're about to see up again, for the openness of their play. You know, it's great for the neutral, at least, to watch. Probably pretty stressful if you're either of the team's camps watching. But, yeah, I mean, 3 all straight to penalties are fantastic. Obviously, that one went to Wicked. Then we saw extra time in the second game. Reversed it, as the lads just pointed out. We've kind of reset it back to a best of 3 now, if you like. But it's really tight and it's really nicely poised. The fact that 3 of the 5 games can be played on PS4 definitely suits Wicked, because the only games previously before this best of 5 that they had ever won against Blue was that one game on the PS4 between Data Rentap and Agu from the qualifying before the group stage, which they won 2-1. But obviously now they've won on penalties as well. So there's proof there. There's previous. And if they get a win here again, they take the lead again.
Well, we wanted goals and we got them. Let's take a look at some of the goals from leg 1. So this is what included the penalty and the sudden death later on. A really fast game.
I love that finish personally from Zidane. First of all, including Zidane, we haven't seen everyone use Zidane. Many people use Zidane last few days. They've got the whole, plethora of players available to them in Ultimate Team. So I like a few different choices. In fact, Agu using Zambrotta at right back is very interesting as well. Just 89 rated right back. There's so many high rated right backs available. A bit fortuitous there with a rebound, but you've got to shoot to get in that situation. Schmeichel has been ever present in terms of great goalkeeping performances this weekend. Unbelievable. And he makes a few saves in that second leg as well. That goal goes in, and that was taking it to penalties at 3-3. I have to say, some of the penalties were interesting. I mean, I personally, on FIFA, I want to keep my penalties low.
Yeah, you were frustrated watching those.
A lot of them were going in that sort of mid-range height, which is the perfect height for a keeper to save. And that goes for real football too, If you're going to put it high, you need to put it at the top corner. But obviously, if you keep it low, bottom corner, yes, you can miss, and without the reticule, it does make it a little bit harder. But a couple of those Schmeichel saves, which were unbelievable, that we're batting them away, it made it easier for him to do so because they're at the perfect sort of midriff height. But actually, we saw Wicked win that penalty shootout, and it was great entertainment because as long as we're going to get as many games as possible, and we've got the goals coming, which are coming now, then we can't complain.
They're coming in early as well, 2-2 before half-time, and then 6 goals overall. The style of play seems different today.
There's a way they play in this part of the world, I think, that is slightly different, I think they're a bit more open to long balls, which previously has worked in games. I don't necessarily think it's the most effective tactic available all the time, but I do encourage people to mix it up from time to time, and we have seen a few moments in pro events recently with these unbelievable sort of Hail Mary, long ball, quarterback-type passes that can come out of nowhere and sometimes work. But we're seeing a little bit more of them tried here, and like I said before, the openness of the game is fantastic from a neutral perspective because we've seen plenty of goals. Sometimes this year, the way you can play on the counter-attack with a 4-4-2 with 2 banks of 4, we see a little bit kind of tighter games, and maybe a little bit more defensive. We're not seeing too much of that today, which I'm enjoying.
We've got some goals from the Xbox game as well to show you. Let's take a look at those. Leg 2, this was.
Yeah, so this is where Blue obviously got back in it, and they went 1-0 up there. There's the guy celebrating there. That's Sachs, the man that's playing, and Blue, his partner. So they took the 1-0 lead, and you can't be doing this at the back, quite frankly. That's completely avoidable. Unforced error, they'd call it if it was tennis. We've seen a few of them, actually. We saw one with Spider Kong in the South America region. I don't like it when they try and play it across their box. I mean, it's an old rule of football, isn't it? Don't ever play across your box when there's someone there. I know he's tried to go over him, he's tried to go high, but still, in this game, there's that room for error if you're attacking players in the vicinity. So I'd much rather see him go back to the keeper, then force it wide. But yeah, ultimately, Blue did come out on top in extra time, and they've reset the bracket, if you like, or made it 1-1, and we go again.
Agu and Data Rentap go on to play together again now. After that first game that was dragged out to penalties, what should they be thinking and changing, either tactic-wise, statistically-wise, or maybe even just from the mental side to make sure that they can secure a win here?
Well, for the first time ever, Wicked actually have a kind of positive record against Blue in this fixture now. They've now played 3 times across all the different qualifying league phase and now in this best of 5. And Wicked have a 2-1 record against them, specifically these 2 players, Dato Rentap against Agu. So it means for the first time in this particular fixture, Blue aren't the favourites.
Yes.
They need to change that. Obviously, they want to get back on top. I think both teams could, and this goes against what I've just been saying, which is that I like to see the open play and the attacking, but both teams trying to maximise their ability to win the game could probably shut up shop a little bit better and try and hold on to these leads when they get them. A bit more defensive discipline. Do I want to see them do that?
No.
Not necessarily, because I enjoy the goals. But that's what they need to do to win, I think.
Do you think Wicked will go into this confident now?
I think both teams should go into it confident, to be honest. They've both got their own reasons. Wicked is reminding me a little bit of, we saw the Dire Wolves from the Oceania region, kind of written off a little bit as underdogs and not talked about as much, but this fairy tale story all the way from pre-qualification to qualification to league phase to now knockouts in the best of 5 game. Maybe it is written for them. I'd be starting to believe now if I was them.
Agu went 2-0 down at the start of that first leg, early on as well. He showed some real composure to not get stressed out, not be put off so early on in the game.
It'll be an emotional rollercoaster for him because he's been devastated to be 2-0 down. He gets back in it. It goes all the way to extra time, 3-3, then to penalties, then to lose the penalties. It takes a lot out of you, those games. Sometimes it is arguably emotionally better to go in and get beat 1-2-0 than it is to go through something like that and lose, because it honestly does take a lot out of you. I know these guys aren't running around in a traditional football sense, but you can't really legislate for how exhausted you can get from games of FIFA like that, but particularly at this level. The pressure they're under, the concentration levels they have to hit, it really does take it out of you.
Yes, well, someone else I'd love to speak to now is Mohammed, our zone reporter. He was absolutely fantastic to speak to earlier. Mohammed, how are you doing right now? Everything you said seems to be coming true, exactly the tightness that you predicted.
Yeah, and we... exactly what we know from this zone. Every single thing from start to finish, it has been fantastic. Goals galore, because we know how many goals they have scored so far in the competition. And yeah, it's so hard to call. It got reset to a best of 3, like what the casters said. You can't really call a favorite right now. Although, yes, in the Xbox, Sacked got over Halo Wake yet again. But, yeah, it could go either way in PS4 or Xbox. It's just this kinds of margins you see, so narrow margins, some goals which should have been in, some very brilliant saves, brilliant defending as well. So everything is in this Zone 2 finals, and I'm really, really enjoying it.
Mohammed, you were spot on when you said that you thought it could go the distance. You didn't think it was going to be a clean sweep. You were completely right. Because you got that so right, I let you off when we spoke previously, because I asked you for a prediction. You didn't really give me one, and I didn't forget that. You basically said, because you're from Malaysia, you kind of had a horse in the race there, but you acknowledged that Blue are really good. We've seen 2 games now, pal. We know a little bit more. Someone's got to win. And this is, if you're going to step up to the plate, you're our Zone 2 reporter, Mohammed. We need predictions. Who are you going for?
Oh no, this is going to be tough. Okay. This is a little bit bold. But let's say if Halo Wake did the exact same thing and to not choke again his leads, because he's been leading a lot. He's been very, very composed as well, especially in the early games. If he can do that, and then for Halo Wake, if he can actually, because he has been improving massively in the space of just few days. So I'm thinking that it could be Wicked that win this if and only if Blue United is not careful, because we know how good Blue is. But surely they want this now. But if they're not careful, then Wicked might just take it.
I like you mentioning there how much he's improved in the last few days. Obviously today now they've both played each other already, and we're about to go into the PS4 game. Mm-hmm. Do you think we'll see some improvements from simply having played each other right the way through to penalties already?
Yeah, because this FIFA, you know, you can read all the tactics so quickly over the course of just one game. So I believe whoever is there coaching Blue United's players surely will be talking to Agu, like maybe some tactical changes are needed if he wants to get over this very, very stubborn Datuk Rentap, because he has been hammer and tongs, like both of them, like it really fine margins between them as well. So I believe the coaches will play a huge role in determining who is going to win this one. It's not only just the players, it's everyone. The support system is going to be huge for both these teams.
Mohammed, tell us a bit more about Zone 2 or Asia in general, and the scene, the FIFA scene there that's been growing over the years. Like, does it feel like it's getting a lot bigger? We're seeing more teams trying to qualify for this event than ever before. It feels like it's going in a good direction, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic, especially this season, although we got like, the restrictions because of COVID, so we couldn't have like a lot of offline events, but it gives way. It gives the opportunities for people like the players from Wicked or a lot of other players as well. As I'm from Malaysia as well, we've got like 2 players in the broadcast event, and it's so rare for for a player from Malaysia, let alone 2, you know, to actually go to a huge event like this. So it paves way to a lot of young talents, young players to get to go forward and strut their stuff. And it's not only just for Malaysia, but for the entirety of the Asian region as well. And I believe it's the same as what we've seen in Europe, what we've seen in the other regions as well. So Asia, I believe, has been benefiting the most because we have seen a lot of new talents, not just the veterans that have been winning it. As we see, like a lot of new players for the second broadcast event as well. So absolutely huge. Can't wait to see more events in this season's Global Series.
Big words there. Clearly, it means a lot for the whole area. Can you tell us a little bit about what a win would mean to each club and potentially for the individuals as well?
Yeah, for Blue United, we all know that they have been here thrice, they have been here 3 times, and now is the best time to actually show that they are one of the dominant teams in the whole world, not just in Asia, but in the whole world as well. And this final is the biggest test that they are having because Wicked, yeah, they come from seemingly a little bit unknown. Yes, like what we heard Spencer said, that they were established a little bit earlier than Blue United. But most of the players are relatively so young. Some of them actually played FIFA like very, very late. Even Datuk Rentap, actually, he never. I don't think he ever touches the console FIFA up until FIFA 19. He was a FIFA Online 3 player before. So. Like, it's going to be huge for all these players to actually announce themselves to the world and for the future as well, for the future of Asian FIFA eSports as well.
Mohammed, thank you very, very much. We are back for our third leg. It's over to our casters.
Thank you so much. And yes, as you can see, we're underway once again in our third game. A fantastic insight, though, Dan, into the Asian FIFA scene, a burgeoning scene. Great stuff from our zone reporter, Mohammed.
Yeah, but Mohammed, did he give a prediction there? There was a lot of ifs and buts. A lot of ifs and buts.
I think he went with Wicked, but there's also going to be an early chance here as Mbappe gets inside the box and Maldini will be forced to make the challenge. But it's a good point. We should go back to that.
It was a Dan Gaskin prediction is what it was. It was like, oh, I think this team will win if this happens. I love it. I love just avoiding Spencer's questions in general, if I'm completely honest. But we are back underway. And as we said, it's kind of reset now. It's almost become a best of 3 after both players have won their games.
R9's going to get through on goal here, but the flag will be up. Needs to just calm down for a few seconds here. There was the opportunity to strike on goal, which is always a positive thing to do at the start of a game, just to put your opponent back under that little bit of pressure. A little bit of a layoff there for Wicked eSports, as R9 did find the back of the net, and then straight up the other end, the rib behind, Pele. Vieira's desperately trying to chase him, and just a heavy touch is going to show too much to the goalkeeper. And once again, Schmeichel will gleefully collect.
End-to-end stuff again, just what we saw in the first match between these two players. And I wonder whether we'll get to extra time again.
Ronaldo already had one little sighter at goal. The scoop turn, the ball roll, and the heel-to-heels. Found a little bit of space to the finish, but it was a finish that was not completed there as the pressure from the defender made that shot a little bit more difficult than it initially did look. Corner though for Blue United, in towards Ruud Gullit. Cristiano Ronaldo will challenge him and put him on his back.
Yeah, a bit of a lackluster shot it was. We've seen a few of those today where you kind of want to shoot, then you get in a position where you probably shouldn't shoot, and end up shooting anyway.
Ronaldo, beautiful back heel and a beautiful opportunity, but no! One too many, as you say. I mean, it would have looked great if it had come off.
Well, it's one of those where you're playing co-op with your mate and you're just toying with your opponent. Not something you want to see in a grand final, but perhaps when it was Patrick Vieira who received the ball, he just wasn't quite confident with his finishing ability on the turn, so instead tried to just play one more extra pass. Would have looked beautiful, as you say.
And out the other end, Wicked eSports. A drop of the shoulder there, running fake shot. Almost worked to get past one defender. Unfortunately, there was a covering player to come across and deal with it. There's that raking through ball trying to be attempted again, this time by Agu from Blue United. With possession back once more. Ball into the feet of R9. Cristiano Ronaldo Once again, bullying Ruud Gullit off the ball here. Here's Johan Cruyff, gets that ball back inside. But he will be out for a goal kick as Manuel Neuer might have caught in no man's land there.
Yeah, thankfully the touch just too heavy. Every time that ball does get near the goalkeeper, it's the players attempting something, whether it be a ball roll or just trying to shift it across the body. Maybe a counter-attack possibility now here.
2v1 situation, just needs to find the pass, but phenomenal tracking. The space from Virgil van Dijk initially, but here comes Bruno Fernandes! And we have the first goal, and once again it goes to Wicked eSports.
And that is Dato Rentap's 60th goal of the tournament. In his 27th game, he has been finding the back of the net consistently for this team. The team of the year, Bruno Fernandes, making the run from midfield. Topping off quite a nice move. Of course, it was an interception and arguably a little mistake from Agu. Dato Rentap capitalising on it.
So Wicked eSports take the lead again. Here's R9 though, looking to answer back almost immediately. Maybe just a little bit of a hopeful shot there, Dan. Desperation trying to get back into it, answer back straight away from the corner though. Alphonso Davies will travel with the ball at his feet.
You can see how the group stage panned out on the left there, and it was the difference of goal difference, really.
R9 once again gets into a 1v1, can't make the most of it, but the strength of the Brazilian will keep possession of the ball for just a few moments, but now will be cleared away.
The amount of goals that Blue United did score in that group stage, they really tore apart their opposition. Wicked eSports, though, still managed to get through in second place pretty comfortably. But now they're going toe-to-toe with a team that did cause them a lot of trouble. We are seeing a lot of those over-the-top through balls.
Seen a lot of runs from deep from Bruno Fernandes as well. He got the first goal of the game. He's looking to add to that as well. Here's Johan Cruyff, though. It's inside the box, little double tap pass, and once again, you have to say that I think he's been a little bit guilty of overplaying things here. As an Arsenal fan of many years, I know how that feels to watch.
It's almost like it's just predetermined in his head, or it didn't quite go to the player he expected it to. Maybe he thought it was going to go to the initial runner, and he had to play that pass, so he'd already pressed the button. The input was there, didn't opt to cancel. Still good signs, he is making those chances, but still finds himself a goal behind, and then this is what can happen. Counter-attacks are going to be there and available. The over-the-top through ball was on, didn't opt to go for it this time.
Instead of with Bruno Fernandes once more breaking from midfield. Smart this. Dato Rentap just slowing the game down once more. Trying to take a little bit of a sting out of it. Reverse Elastico coming in from R9. Pele will be offside though, just coming back from an offside position, but you can see the idea once again.
So close though. Such tiny margins for that offside. He tried to wait and wait for Pele coming back. The defenders just pressing up and successful with that offside trap. And there is Patrick Vieira in that centre-back position. An absolute force. There's been a lot of decisions to be made about who's playing centre-back in this FIFA. We've seen so many, in real life, full-backs playing in those centre-back positions just for that pure pace that they add to the game. For example, Kyle Walker, even though he is a centre-back item now in the game, one of the favourites that pros go to. Slightly different when we get these eSports accounts and you have all the prime icons to work with. And also Rich James, of course, the right back, who is put into the centre-back position, who's been a really important addition as well. But we can take a look back at that first goal. I mean, I've seen the defender make that and block that previously. I think Dato Rentap, with his 60th of the tournament, will be very happy that there was no block to come through.
Oh, 100%. And once again, it's a real something to hold on for Wicked eSports. Getting that lead is so important in these finals when you have these close games and close series. I mean, you're looking at a close series. You know, we've already had a penalty shootout in the first game. The second game was decided by just the one goal. And to take a lead and put the pressure onto your opponents, where you say to your teammate, go and win us this thing. You know, if you get this game done, you can literally say to your teammate, we have a chance of winning this. which I don't think either of the players, coming into this, maybe would have expected to be able to say without going the full distance here.
And I think that's probably what's on the mind of Agu and Blue eSports in general, is they are really expected to win this, considering they are veterans of this competition. They have dominated this region in the past, but they're being shown up here. The underdogs are having one heck of a fight. And there has been chances for Agu. He could have had 2 already, realistically, in this game. Guilty of overplaying it, and that will play on his mind too.
You don't score if you don't shoot. It's a very simple game. And Wicked eSports now in behind. Unfortunately, just went a little bit early and will be caught offside. And now for Agu, needs to back up his teammate Saks, who had an absolute war in his game as well. Came out on top. He's putting the performance now and put his teammate back in control. Just a reminder as well that if this does go to 5 games down, then the performances here of Data Rentap will fill Wicked eSports with hope. That will be potentially 2 wins in a row if the score stays as it is right now, and it does go to that game 5.
They would have been hoping that it was going to be on PlayStation, as Spencer alluded to on the desk as well. They had found a victory before.
Pass will go just wide. Almost surprisingly, it actually fell back to him. The ball travelled in slow motion past the post there. Schmeichel didn't move, and you kind of expected that he was seeing it past the post with how good he's been.
But I kind of watched on, and part of me was like, is that going in?
So that can't go in. Well, maybe this will, though. Straight up the other end for Blue United. Cristiano Ronaldo gets that ball back inside. Vieira has to stretch and does so well to make that interception. Now on the counter-attack, Wicked eSports step forward.
I mean, Prime Vieira has just been everywhere. Lord knows how prime moments Vieira would feel.
Well, here's Pele, and there's Van Dijk. And all of a sudden, much like we saw in the first game, Dan, around this 60th minute, things have started to open up. And speaking of opening up, it's the defence that's opened up here. And Blue United find the equaliser. Cristiano Ronaldo pulls them back into this game.
Yeah, Data Rentap just opting to bring that goalkeeper out slightly, hoping that the touch was too heavy from Cristiano Ronaldo, but it was just a perfect weight. And as soon as that keeper comes off the line and you get close enough, it's a very easy ball roll around and the finish. You very rarely see them missed from Team of the Year Ronaldo. 98 rated and 98 shooting statistics as well. So we're back to square one. It's really difficult to separate these two teams.
And out on this far side, we'll get the ball back as well. It's Patrick Vieira chomping away at him, though, and he'll win the ball back. 63 minutes on the clock. And how tight this game has been. And the next goal could be the one to actually decide who wins it. Great pressure high up the pitch, though, from Bruno Fernandes. He's going to win the ball back here for Wicked eSports. The ball in now to R9. Maybe just waiting for those runners from deep. Nice quick passing initially just to create half a yard. Offside trap is just being spammed at the moment. You can see it by Agu from Blue United, creating that wall of defenders in front of Wicked eSports to try and break down here. Great patience, though, from Data Rentap to work his way into this position. Vieira just gets a touch on it as well when it seemed like it was impossible to do so. And turns possession over once more.
I think after that kind of second or third turn on the ball, when you allow Vieira to get that close to you, the strength and presence of him, he's not going to allow you to get away. Dr. Rentap looked a little bit more threatening when he was further away from the box. He was playing those quick passes, trying to pull out the defender, hoping to maybe get a through ball off. Actually, once he gets to the edge, he looks a little bit less threatening.
Here's Cristiano Ronaldo. Little Croqueta cancel coming in from Agu. Starting to look a lot more confident going forward when he gets the opportunity to do so. Pele. Another Croqueta cancel coming in. Just can't find the half yard for a pass. Speaking of which, oh no! The half yard is found. The half volley is found. And from behind, Blue United now have the lead.
And I think this is really the worst nightmare for Wicked. With only 15 minutes left and going behind in this tie with an Xbox fixture to come up. One that Sact has yet to lose in 4 games versus his opponent, Halo Wake. There is still time for Wicked, for Data Rentap, who did have the lead for the majority of the game in the opening fixture, and it was then the equalisers that came through. And what can he do now he's actually behind in this game? It's straight to the tactics screen. It's making sure everyone's going forward, getting some fresh legs on the pitch as well. Really, we need to see something magical now from Data Rentap. It was a great spot by Hullet. Keen eye for a great pass, just like he did in real life.
Such an effective way to find that striker as well. A little double tap, just lifting it over the legs of the defenders. So difficult to intercept. But having just worked so hard to score that goal, to give them the lead, Agu now has to switch on from the kickoff. Needs to win the ball back. Zinedine Zidane gets the ball into R9. Little drag back from him. Croqueta Cantor as well. Reverse Elastico. All the tricks in the book. Just a wall of defenders once more in front of this goal. Well, it will step in, but possession still here for Wicked Esports.
He's trying to poise himself for one of those directional nutmegs. Wants the defender just to bite slightly so he can just knock it past them.
Pele's inside the 18-yard box. Takes it away from goal. Doesn't have many options and has to go all the way back here to Alexander-Arnold. And try and create the angle for a pass, but you can just see so many players now behind the ball. Fake shot though from Ronaldo, and that ball almost fell into the path of Cristiano Ronaldo. Well defended though from Agu, and just a few moments now for him to hold on.
Yeah, I think the fake shot had done more than he had expected, and Davies manages to win this one back.
Cristiano Ronaldo now gets around the outside of his man, but just overruns it. Just when the opportunity kind of presented itself to get into a position to find a pass or a shot. And once again, we look back at one of those moments at the end of the game and think, was that a wasted chance?
That could be the danger of that directional nutmeg. It can just overextend ever so slightly. Davies has done fantastically on this left-hand side, but on this occasion, Mbappe will win the encounter. And now it's just a case of getting up that pitch and keeping that ball for only a few more minutes. Even though Data Rentap looks so good when he is on the ball, is he going to get another chance here?
We're into the 90th minute. Ronaldinho is running into the green grass in front of him. Turns back. Good game management here. And what a result this would be for Blue United. And for Agu, putting the heartbreak of the penalty shootout behind him and moving forward with a win which could be massive for their chances of becoming the champions of Zone 2. And Blue United do take home this tie, the third tie, and now have a game advantage in our finals.
It is a tough pill to swallow for sure if you are on the side of Wicked, because now with that going to the Xbox side again, that's a lot of pressure on the side of Halo Wake. But he knew that either way he was going to have to play this one, and he was going to have to try and get a result against Sact. He has done it in 4 games.
This is true.
Maybe 5th, maybe 5 is the lucky number for him.
Maybe it will be. And now, as you say, the pressure very much back onto the other 2 players. But there is a match point opportunity here, a chance to call yourself a champion for Blue United. You can see Sact versus Halo Wake. It was 2-1 in the first leg. It was an extremely tight game as well. Halo Wake putting in a really good performance as we take a look back on the goals from the game we've just seen between Agu and Data Rentap. But it was just that little moment of magic, the ability to find that pass into R9 that was the difference between the 2 teams.
And there were a couple of just flimsy shots. I could watch Data Rentap play all day because his reactions are perfect. Great ball roll around the keeper, nice and composed, easy as you like. And then this, oh, that's just beautiful. I mean, Neuer unlucky not to get to it, perhaps, but it was the vision from the midfield to find that striker. And now it's advantage Blue United very firmly now. Like, when we say like the form book goes out the window and stuff, but it's hard to avoid it when it is now 4 games in a row that SAC has beaten Halo Wake. But I'd love to see Halo Wake go against the form book here and take this to a game 5, because with the way these players have been competing, it has been so closely contested. It feels like it should be a game 5.
I agree with you. I kind of just want to see those two players play again, to be honest with you. Every single game's been incredibly entertaining and hasn't disappointed us at all. So for me, I want to see it go to a game 5, but it would take a result that we haven't seen so far today. To put it there, well, I mean, what do you think has to change? How do you turn this around if you're Halo Wake right now? You haven't had success against a player. Do you play the slower game, or do you think, do you know what? I haven't had the results of playing the 5-3-2. I get a little bit more aggressive. I try and take the game to my opponent and put the pressure back on him.
Well, I'd be looking at the results and saying, okay, I lost 3-1, I lost 4-1, I lost 5-1, and then I've just lost 2-1 in extra time. It's going backwards now. We only haven't had 1-1 or me winning, or it's going to be 6-1. So it's just about where you think this one's going to go. Do you think you're going to get absolutely battered, or do you think you're going to be able to come back through? Tactically, I'd like to see him not go for as many over-the-top through balls. I've seen so many. He seems to be giving away possession. Every time he gets the ball, he's like, oh, I have to suddenly ping this one left or right. And I just don't think it's worked out for him.
You can see the two players, they're ready. This could be the final game of our Zone 2 finals. I'm still struggling to see the logic. And you just threw loads of numbers at
There's a pattern emerging, and it has to go one way. It has to go one way, Mark. That's all I'm saying.
That's smart from you, that's all I'm saying.
Just
Lots
say
of
numbers.
Just say numbers. Anyway, here we go then. There's only one number that matters here, and that is the fact that Blue United are 1 tie up. And if they win this game, then they will be the Zone 2 champions. For Wicked eSports and for Halo Wake, it's a tough task to produce a result against a man that you haven't been able to beat so far. But those stories are meant to be written.
But he came so close. The fact he even got to extra time in the previous encounter will give him confidence, and maybe stealing the ball away here, an early goal could give him even more.
Cristiano Ronaldo looking for that ball roll, scooped home once more. Here's the flying Kylian Mbappe, the flying Frenchman though, denied by the Canadian. And Alphonso Davies, and now straight up the other end. The Frenchman's on his bike once more, and Carlos Alberto has to use every single pace statistic to keep up with him.
Is the 5 at the back going to be more beneficial for Halo Wake this time? Certainly in the early stages of their first encounter, he wasn't really utilising Davies and Mbappe as much as he could have. That's why the 5 at the back is so good going forward, is when those wing-backs just generate so much space. You can see now, if you look at the radar, like Mbappe on that right-hand side has absolute acres. By the time you do shift it that way, the defenders start to move across and will block some of that space.
A good confident start here from Halo Wake. Cristiano Ronaldo looking full of confidence as well, full of tricks alongside it. Davies gets away from his man. Cristiano Ronaldo looks for that fake shot, but the strength of Van Dijk difficult to deal with.
Yeah, it's not as easy to just turn Van Dijk like that.
It's not easy to defend these through balls as well. Cristiano Ronaldo up the other end now for Blue United. Bruno Fernandes. Pull it across to Pele, and there is the opener. Advantage to Blue United. And they step ever closer to being the champions.
And I wonder whether this is the beginning of the end now. An early goal, confidence going to be flowing through SAC here. He's scored so many goals in this competition and has ran through so many different opponents, but when you talk about a bogey opponent, SAC certainly is Halo Wake's. You can see what he did in the group stages. 12 goals for, 4 against. Very confident and dominant performances.
Wicked eSports have had chances to go forward in this game as well. Only 17 minutes gone, but it's an open game, which I think, to be honest with you, kind of suits Wicked eSports. Unfortunately, kind of got caught on the counter-attack there. I think the more chances that are attempted to be created by Wicked eSports, the more opportunities they're going to have to strike a goal. And I don't expect Blue United to score, you know, with the record that we've had so far. between the two players. You expect Sak to break the deadlock at some point to manage to find the back of the net. So you're going to have to score more than one to take this game. You have to score two at this moment, but it might be even more as Pele once again is inside the box. Bruno Fernandes tries to slide the ball inside.
Oh, it's really good pressure as well. Alexander-Arnold didn't even have to get back.
Pressure on once more. Mbappe with a heel-to-heel. Tries to drive it across goal and then fights to try and get the pieces as well. And now Mbappe needs to work once more defensively. And at the moment, look at eSports and Halo just can't get out their own third.
Yeah, I'm wondering whether press after possession loss is on at the moment for Sacked. It's so effective to just really pin your opponent in. Of course, stamina will take a little bit of a hit come towards the end of the game, but if you're already up by a few goals, you're not really going to mind too much.
So 15 minutes till half-time here. Ball fired wide to the feet of Alexander-Arnold, once again bombing up from that full-back position. Pele into the feet of Mbappe. Just offside, though. And once again, you have to say that Sacked has been kind of dominating this first half here now.
He has completely, but if he doesn't find a considerable amount of goals, if he is pressing, if he is depleting the stamina of his players, if Halo 8 can keep this close, then towards the latter stages, he would have the advantage.
That's a great ball back to Kylian Mbappe as well. Ruud Gullit slides in, and I thought the Elastico was good enough to beat the man on the floor, but we know about the presence of Ruud Gullit. Well, it's not just the vertical base, it's when he's laying on the floor that's difficult to get round.
I mean, that was a slide tackle Sol Campbell would be proud of. It just kept going and going. You see him sometimes and you think you've done enough to get past him, but it seems unavoidable. But there are chances for Halo 8.
Speaking of chances, here's Kylian Mbappe. I've got to say, that is some fantastic 1v1 defending in that position from Halo 8. I think many players would have bitten into those turns from Kylian Mbappe. Tried to win that ball desperately in the last second, but he stood his ground and did fantastically well.
It's not easy to do, to defend a player like Team of the Year Mbappe. You have to sometimes predict where those turns are going to go, and if you do commit either way, you just leave so much space. Very important that Halo 8 keeps this within a goal, I feel.
This passing is beautiful to watch, and it's creating opportunities as well. You can see the Gullit maybe had the chance to be fed in behind. Directional nutmeg from Bruno Fernandes. The touch behind will give possession back, but good signs there for Halo 8.
You saw Sack just kind of sit up and have a deep breath because he knows how close that was and how close this tie currently is. Wasn't able to take full advantage of the pressure that he found himself applying.
Ruud Gullit though, in behind. Neuer makes himself huge to make the save. I'm not sure where it hit him. He might have been in the face, but it doesn't matter as long as it doesn't cross that line. Here's Pele, constant pressure here at the end of this first half. Gullit once again finds a beautiful pass, and another dose of the same medicine from Manuel Neuer. Will keep it at 1-0, but relying on the goalkeeper is what Halo 8 had to do at the end of that half.
I mean, we said that Halo 8 was kind of clinging on in the first time these two played, and it feels a little bit more of the same, but the good thing is, if you are a fan of Wicked Esports, is that it's only 1-0, and he has had a couple of chances. And as I mentioned, I feel like the stamina is going to be a little bit more depleted on the side of Blue United and Sacked, because he was definitely pressing a lot in the early stages to try and get a commanding lead. We'll look at the goal, though, from that leg, because, you know, it was an interesting one. It was very early, and it was those through balls that are just so detrimental every single time. Got a little bit of space, and then it's pass after pass, and as soon as Pele gets in that area, I mean, we did see a couple of overpasses in the previous encounter with these two, but this one paid off.
Yeah, it was beautiful stuff. It was the initial ball roll scoop turn that created the space for that passing move to be put together. We're ready to get into our second half as well now. And this could well be the last half of our Zone 2 final as well. For Blue United, they just need to hold on to this lead. For Wicked Esports, they need the win here to send it to a deciding Game 5. But 45 minutes in-game stand between Blue United and the glory of being the Zone 2 champions.
And before the tournament started, we saw all the messages from the fans and the families of these players. Well, you need to send all of your energy to Halo Wake now.
Great touch from R9 as well, and almost at the start, that energy was transferred to the right foot of R9, testing the goalkeeper. Good early signs here for Wicked Esports at the start of the second half. Maybe a chance to deliver the ball in. There'll be another corner though.
Just keep an eye on that keeper. It does get moved out, so can't necessarily play this to the front post, so it is just going to be played short.
Play a lot going to be used though. Ball floated in. Schmeichel will get 2 fists on that one to get it out. Ronaldo fighting with Cristiano Ronaldo. He's just knocked off balance a little bit and makes that pass a little bit messy and gives possession back. Much more encouraging start though for Wicked Esports here. And went for the bridge to hit the space, but the fullback was there to cover.
Just bang it. Honestly, you've got Prime R9. He can smash them in from there. Perhaps trying to do a little bit too much. I have seen it work, going for just to shift the ball away from the body. He just allowed the defender to gain the ground that he had lost previously, but definitely good signs for Wicked Esports.
Left one on in there. That's a huge tackle. Not only that, one possession as well. But it comes back to those margins, and there's a chance here for Cristiano Ronaldo. Speaking of margins once more, Carlos Alberto has been in 2 1v1 situations in this game. Well, it's not just the fact that he's had to stop the opportunity. He's had to stop potentially the tournament falling through the fingers of Wicked Esports, and both times he's come up trumps.
Seen a little bit more mistakes now coming through from Sacked.
Pressure.
Trying to play that ball out a little bit too quickly, not allowing the player that he's controlling to settle with the ball. And they're often off balance, and he has been giving it away, but he has managed to survive that particular counter.
Blue United stepping forward. You can see the pressure really is on now as Carlos Alberto wins the ball back and keeps it in, most importantly. Hullet won't be able to do the same on the opposite side of things, which means possession will be in the hands of Wicked Esports. The pause, going to be added to the queue. And that means changes. And that means there might be an opportunity here before the changes for a goal to tie this game up. But Virgil van Dijk once again just deals with Cristiano Ronaldo.
Again, the ball roll, scoop turn, just to try and get away from the man, but I feel like if it's going to be Van Dijk, you need to beat him in the early stages with the through ball. And there was a through ball there, but doesn't play it.
Pele, back to Mbappe, gets it into Hullet, and again, chances at both ends. It's almost a surprise this game is just 1-0.
It seems like we've got 2 players who are just reluctant to shoot. And they want to play that extra pass.
Cristiano Ronaldo goes for that directional nutmeg. And at the other end, the player lock is going to allow Cristiano Ronaldo to collect the ball here. Well, there was a player running through the middle there, and then I realised it was the referee.
I definitely also saw the same thing.
Great pace from the ref to keep up, though. And now we go into that pause screen. This is going to be the last throw of the dice here for Wicked Esports to get back into things. If it stays the same, we will be saying that Blue United are your champs.
And it's where we thought we would be going right before this zone final began. Blue United were the favourites. The statistics all pointed towards them winning this final. Our zone reporter Mohammed, though, said that Wicked Esports, we have to keep an eye on them. They have been up and coming. They have been able to find results, and the PlayStation draw certainly helped for them.
It certainly did. I'm just looking at the player cams as well. You can really see the pressure, though, affecting the man for Blue United here. Sacked is looking extremely nervous. You can see both the players. But the player who is feeling it right now is the one with the controller in his hands, just thinking through everything that could go wrong, everything that could go right. How close he is. to bringing it home for his team. Deep breath, back into the game.
Sweaty palms. And a couple of pats on the back to try and calm down your teammate. This is where you really need to dig deep and find that focus. No mistakes. You will be the champions.
And a goal will tie things up. But a second hit for Blue United. This might be game over. Ball roll. Bruno Fernandes goes for that Croqueta cancel. It was beautiful, but wasn't enough.
And as time starts to tick away, Sact will start to be thinking more about just keeping the ball and wasting time rather so than going for goal, but still a little bit of time to work with here.
Dama Traore fresh on the pitch as well. Van Dijk steps out though. Chance to go forward here for Wicked Esports. And those opportunities are going to be a premium moving forward. A little bit of desperation being shown there by Sact's Patrick Vieira. Massive from him.
That slide says a lot, but this is a chance maybe at the other end.
Cristiano Ronaldo just slows things down. I like this. Smart play. Doesn't have to go for the kill. But if the opportunity presents itself, you have to take it. And once again, Manuel Neuer. There's been a lot of crazy saves in the last few games, and there was another one. Here's Mbappe though. 7 minutes left. Wicked Esports trailing, but have a chance to go forward here now.
And Halowick's just clinging on, defending with his life, and he just wants that one chance now. One through ball could take it to extra time and give him that opportunity to keep this tie alive.
This might be the last chance here for Wicked Esports to send this to a game 5. Bridge from Pele, stops up Elastico. Somehow keeps the ball in play though, Pele. And again, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, maybe the opportunity to strike was there. Possession still with him though. Eusebio goes for the directional nutmeg, can't get around Maldini. And is that the last chance for Wicked Esports?
Just 1 minute left. Keep the ball now for Blue United, and you will be champions.
Hoofed upfield, Ronaldo wins the header as well. Ball over the top. Mbappe can't get there, but it doesn't matter because Blue United will be your champions of Zone 2. And that man on your screen, Sact, has been absolutely unbelievable.
Pure elation there. And quite rightly so. You saw how much he was feeling it towards the latter stages of that game. The pressure very much on. As soon as we saw that it was going to be PlayStation starting first, it did give Wicked a chance in this grand final. But Agu stepped up when he needed to, and Sact got yet another result over Halo 8. 5 times he's beaten him now. It's a shame, and commiserations, of course, to Wicked. They played fantastically, and it was a great final. But Blue United, that's the reason why they just are 3-time qualifiers for the E-Club World Cup.
Experience under their belt, and now a trophy to go alongside it as well. You can see the results of the best of 5 as well. We didn't get to that last game, but we had plenty of drama along the way, and it was the 1-0 win for Sact against Halo Wake. But you look at those results as well, Dan. No game a blowout. It was extremely close between the two teams, and to be honest with you, it felt like it could go either way at points in that series.
Yeah, it was a closer game than I expected. We can look at the goal as well. That one goal that you speak of in such a tightly contested game. And I mean, the through ball there from Cristiano Ronaldo, you think, are you going to knock on? Are you going to play it? No, he goes for the extra pass. He's looking for more. Constantly wanting that extra percentage to up his chances of scoring. And I will say that both players were guilty of doing it a little bit too much throughout that game, but you can understand when the pressure's on, when the nerves start to kick in, you don't want to shoot at random times. Sometimes you're like, oh, well, I could play this pass. Like, indecisiveness happens when you're nervous. But at the end, they got the goal. It mattered. They've got the trophy. They've qualified. Like, it doesn't matter what happens at this point. They are the champions. They've done the job.
Yeah, no one can take that away from them. One thing that really stands out for me as well is the performance of the players from Malaysia. I think we need to give them a lot of love, a lot of praise, and hopefully we see them back in competitive esports moving forward as well, and some more big tournaments qualifying and really making a name for themselves and inspiring some more players as well. But I mean, for Blue United, these two players, they've got the experience, I think, that's helped carry them through. You know, you looked at the two players being alongside each other as well, keeping each other calm, hyping each other up in those moments as well. That, for me, was a huge contributor maybe towards the result in this final.
Yeah, pats on the back, just calming each other down. Experience showed in the gameplay as well. I mean, we've seen players get frustrated in games like that. We've had shots and the keeper just keeps making save after save after save, but Sact was just still calm, still happy to play it around, took a breather when the pause happened, came back and just ensured that he kept the ball a little bit, played possession. Ultimately, an incredible final, and very happy for Blue United.
Yeah, congratulations once more to Blue United. Then it's time to go over to Layla and Spencer, though, to give their thoughts on what was a phenomenal final. Congratulations once again to Blue United.
Yes, massive congratulations to Blue United. A big win there after such an exciting flurry of games. We thought it would go to 5, but no, didn't have to go all the way.
No, you didn't need it in the end, and you have to say congratulations to Blue. Again, statistically, the best team throughout qualification have won, which is, you know, what they would have aimed for throughout this whole process, I'm sure. I think that it was made interesting by Wicked. They had a few moments there where we thought they might do it. Even our friend Mohammed there predicted they might do it. If they could get that crucial win for me, the PS4, the second time we saw them play on the PS4, that 2-1 win for Agu was massive, because it just meant that he'd gone back to sort of resetting his record there, where he'd actually fallen behind a little bit, and he gave his friend, obviously, the chance to win it for him in Sact. And Sact's been so solid. Once Sact had an option to win and win the series as a result, you kind of believed he was going to do it because he's been so reliable.
Exactly. Well, it would be perfect to speak to them now. I believe our new champions are on the line, Sact and Agu, Team Blue United. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Ooh. Yes, you can hear me. Amazing. There we are. There we have you. Guys, yes. Thank you so much for joining us. You must be feeling fantastic. You're our brand new champions.
Thank you.
I think we have an interpreter translating as we go along, so forgive us for the delay. Guys, firstly, how are you feeling?
I'm so happy. So happy.
Perfect.
So happy.
Very, very happy.
Good. Look, it wasn't easy, though. We saw penalties, we saw 2 sets of extra time, and we saw it drag to the 4th. Were you feeling confident throughout?
Yes, of course.
まあ、勝つ自信しかなかったですね。
So we definitely have a confidence. So we can win.
僕は負けましたけど。
So very, very interesting matches this is. And then, but the Agu is lost it one time, but we completely winning. This is a champion, so thank you.
Yeah, well done, guys. Congratulations from me as well. My question for you would be, we've seen you both play in big events before. Obviously, Blue United have got a history in this competition as well. This one was a bit different because you're playing on your region as opposed to the world stage. But how do you guys see yourselves on the world stage? And are you looking forward to the opportunity to playing against other continents in the future?
世界でのコンペティションでどうやったら活躍できると思いますか、今後。
まあ、今はこの状況で地域予選にとどまっていますが、この地域予選でいっぱいアジア地域でナンバーワンに なり続けて、今後も世界に挑戦していければいいなと思ってます。まずはこの地域でのてっぺんをずっと取り続けることが大事だと思うので。
僕はもうこのプレースタイルをどこまで完璧にできるかっていうところが大事だと思っているので、そうですね、このままいきたいと思います。
So Agu said about we continuously winning of this region, and then we will be a champion and champion again and again. And Takto said, this is my way to victory. So we Takto want to concentrate on this style of football, e-football. So we will go to the next world tournament. This is kind of the Blue United EFC itself. challenger.
Well, thank you very, very much. We'll leave you to celebrate our Zone 2 champions, Blue United. Congratulations.
Well done, guys.
I like that, the idea of this is our style. We win again and again and again. This is the Blue United style. And they are affirming that now.
Well, there's no doubt in their ability to really dominate that region. The sort of challenge, I guess, I was putting to them there, or the question I had is where do they see themselves on the world stage? Because I've got no doubt that region is growing. I've got no doubt that their abilities are increasing all the time, and we're just lacking that big win for them on the world wider stage. That's not their fault. They haven't had the opportunity to do that this year. Maybe they are ready to do that and make that step up, and that's what I'd love to see from them, and I'm sure it exists, is that ambition to say, OK, and they're very confident in their domination of that region. So you've got to look further afield, haven't you? And you see what you can do.
They've only just become champions, you know, like now this is what I'd like to see for them. Let them enjoy this for a moment.
But also, it was great to see they're genuinely, obviously, good friends. They've got their arm around each other. They're celebrating. They're happy. And they can't go out and celebrate it probably in the manner they'd like to, maybe in a few months. But at least they're with each other and they can enjoy that moment.
Yes, absolutely. Well, someone else I know who's been enjoying the moment and watching all the games is Mohammed, our Zone 2 reporter. Good to have you back, Mohammed. How was that for you, Blue United walking away as champions?
Yeah, and well deserved, I should say. I put out a tweet before the tournament began, and then Blue United, they said that they will be bringing their Subarashi Shiais, their best games, you know. So, and they truly delivered. They lived up to their favorite status, but for Wicked Esports as well, they have been mental as well in the competition. So it was a very, very good final, very narrow margins. You don't see winning by big margins by the likes of SACT as we saw during the previous stages. But it was neck and neck. Me, myself, watching, I was like jumping and like moving around. I was like, oh my goodness me, this could be anyone's game, you know? This could be anyone that could win this thing.
It's unbelievable. I mean, yeah, I love your energy, and I think that you have to take a moment, don't you, to really congratulate Wicked because of that journey they've been on. They've come through the pre-qualification, really long process to get to the final. I'd hope to think, and I'm sure you'd agree, that when this comes around next time, they wouldn't have to go through pre-qualification. They've probably earned their right and their seat at the table to come in at a later stage now, right?
Surely, because of the pre-qualification and then with all the very, very tight games, they actually have played 48 games prior to the final. So huge props to them, and I believe this will prove to be a huge boost for both these players. Bear in mind, Heloic is now 110th in East Asia, so maybe this could boost himself for the third qualifier, and for the entirety of the Wicked Gaming clan as well. They've got a lot of fantastic players, fantastic young players as well. So that could inspire the whole of Wicked and the whole of Malaysia as well to step up. And Wicked just showed to us what a story. Although they fell short, but I believe that they have won a lot of hearts over here. Although the champs are Blue United, well deserved.
Talk to me a little bit about the individual players at Blue United. Agu's composure, Sac's tenacity today. What did you think of their individual performances?
Yeah, we have seen from Agu, even before this finals, that he's someone who is just not giving up. That never say die attitude is what makes Agu one of the best, not only in Japan, but in the whole of Asia. Or should I say, that this is bold, he's one of the best in the world, actually, is Agu as well as Sact. Agu, he never gave up, although he was down by a lot or down in the dying moments. He always have that composure and what it takes to actually bring it back and to win it yet again. That's the mark of a true professional player. The true mark of a very, very wonderful player. And for Sact as well, he is one of the best players in Asia as well for a lot of years now. And he's shown to us that, although they are certainly the veterans right now, and they've got some of the youngest players in the scene as well right now. In Asia, I should say. But Sact just shows that he can be dominant for more than for more years to come, not just this year, not just before this, but maybe for 4 or 5 years.
Mohammed, thank you so much. Been absolutely brilliant talking to you. Your energy is infectious as well. We've loved it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Spence, great
you
to
see that?
you.
You didn't forget to hashtag it. That's why I knew it was my favourite of all the reporters.
I love it. I loved him describing the dominance there, but also saying, you know, that was the mark of true professional esports players. Might we argue the mark of true champions?
Yeah, I mean, they obviously came in with a game plan. They knew that they were the team to beat, probably the favourites to win from minute one, and they went and they lived up to that tag. It's a lot harder to do than it sounds. You know, it's easy to go look at the stats and these guys will win and these guys will win, but actually to deliver in these trying circumstances as well. You know, especially when you lose that first game on penalties, talk about the emotional roller coaster, what that can take out of you. To bounce back from that is really, really impressive. I wonder how long it will be, and I do believe it's an inevitability rather than a question of if. I wonder how long it will be till we see a major, you know, world championship won by someone from this region. You know, obviously the desire over there, the amount of people over there. The minute that they really keep growing and keep doing what they're doing, I think it's going to be a matter of time before they come and start taking some of these championships on a world scale.
Well, delivered they did, and set a precedent they did as well. Zone 2 is complete. Your champions are Blue United. We will see you later on, where we look to crown the champions of Zone 4. We'll see you then.
Here for the heart, y'all came here for the game. I came here for the sport. Y'all came here for the fame.